Hi everyone. Sorry for the delay. Let everyone in. Let's bring everyone into the fold.
Took me 3 hours to get in today.
Make it big to make it full screen.
Three hours? The class just
I
started. What do
I
you
couldn't
mean?
get that link. Could not get the, well, I just wanted to, I couldn't get a live link. I mean, I just kept hammering that mouse. It just,
To come to this class, you mean, or what? I'm not sure.
yeah.
Never mind.
The link that you sent out at 6 a.m.
Mhm.
twice, by the way, I got two 6 a.m. links.
Yeah, that was my mistake. But it's the class starts now at 1:30. So
Yeah,
I'll go to the course
I lucked,
before.
yep, I lucked out. Somehow I got it to open.
All right. Well, hi everyone. So sorry for the delay. I went to get I had a doctor's appointment and they said and I had to get some blood drawn and they said you have to wait a bit and I'm like, sure, no problem. I don't teach till 1:30. An hour and 45 minutes later, they saw me and I just drove home like a maniac. So phew, I made it. But a couple of minutes late. So sorry about that. They kept saying, you're next. And then someone would come with an appointment. And I'm like, hi. Next time, make appointments. All right. So I'm in my new studio, which is still a bit of a disaster in the background. So I'm blurred, which is not very good with my curls, but that's what's going to happen until I can fix things. But yeah, I'm testing this place out. So I brought the computers over yesterday. It's a big weekend, as Tracy knows. I discovered that I've known Tracy for a long time. We just discovered it this weekend. Indirectly, not known like one-on-one, but he's been instrumental. He's one of the many mentors. Some of you who have been with me for a while know that my son has been making movies for quite a while, and he's always been going to the Santa Barbara Film Festival 10-10-10 program, and he's won pretty every time he's been part of it. And Tracy is one of the mentors there, and he's never was directly my son's mentor, so we didn't know, but he looked kind of familiar to me. And now we discovered the other day my son won an amazing grant, a $10,000 grant to make a movie that he pitched. And when we were there talking about celebration, he's like, "What are you doing here?" It turns out to be that's who he is. So hi, and thank you for all these years of mentoring so many wonderful young students. I don't get to see many of you out in the wild, so to say. And when I do, sometimes it's hard because I see your Zoom face, right? And I have so many students. And then when I meet you in Trader Joe's or whatever, you know me. And I'm like, tell me who you are again, where you're from. So no one ever get weird or offended if I don't recognize you immediately. It's quite different to see you in real life. And you all watch me forever talking, but I get to see a little bit of you. All right. So welcome everyone. Thank you for the patience. Everyone's still connecting. And so how did it go? This was a long week and we've had, hopefully you've had time. Did anyone try to watch the recording the first couple of days after class? Because the first couple of days after class, it was the link that I put in there was going to YouTube, and until someone told me, I didn't notice that it said that this video has been removed because of what was it that it says? Bullying and stuff like that. And what's up is that when I teach the Intro to the Mac class, later sometimes in the Mac Level 2 class again, when you do more email, and I do the contacts and stuff, they see people's personal information, even if it's fake students or whatever, but they see addresses and things, and it flags it out because I guess there's this thing that people do when they want to get people to harass people is they publish their information on YouTube, that their personal contact information on YouTube. So then when they see my videos, they don't see the video. They have some machine that looks and sees that there's contacts of people in there. Then they flag them out. So when that happens, And someone warns me when that happens, because I post it and I don't see it, and it's not until someone tries to watch it that when that happens, then you get let me know if that, which again, if I keep showing what seems like personal information, it'll keep happening. And then I have to give you a link, which is actually going to directly to Zoom. And they hold the video only until 14 days. Okay. So if you guys want to see the recording from last weekend, you have, not weekend, sorry, from last week's class. At this point, you have only, I guess, 1 week left because the class was a week ago. So let me share with you what I do here. So this is the link. And then I did the whole explanation here is remove this video because contacts harassment bullying. So you need to go here. So here's the link. And when you do that, you need to put this passcode. So you need to copy this passcode and so when you click on this one, it takes you to the Zoom center, not YouTube. And this is where you need to put that passcode, and then you can open up and then you can watch the recording, but it's only available so here it is. It's kind of the same, but it's only available for 14 days. There is one advantage to it only that I can see, which is that they have the audio transcript, they call it. And it's, anyway, they take my words and they try to put it into a document that means that says my words. It's not always perfect, but it would work. But that's the only advantage to this. But it goes away in 14 days from the day that it got recorded. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that in case anyone tried. These, on the other hand, will be here forever. So at some point, you can download this page and keep using these links, not the Zoom only links, but everything else that's YouTube. I never take those down. Okay. So what you will have access all session to this page, Mac level 1, Mac level 2. I'm going to leave this page up the entire time. And then I leave it all the way up until the next class begins in summer, which will be like mid-June or something like that. So you'll basically have access to all of the recording links until mid-June, except for the ones that are only on Zoom. Okay. If you want to download this document, you can either go, when you open this, you can go to the word file download, and it downloads onto your computer, and then those links will be always available to you. Oh, the summaries. So wait, or if you get to the class files and you just get the name of the file, you can also right click here and download that way. So you can either have it downloading from when it's already opened up to also when it's just the class files. So right now, this is the intro to the Mac. Way down here at the bottom, I have hidden away the two ready for Mac level 1 and Mac level 2. So when this one right now, if you open it, it has no links. It's empty because these classes haven't happened yet. But by the way, if you haven't yet signed up for these classes, please do so. Let me see. Here's the CRN for Mac level 1. Let me do that. Hopefully everyone's been going into the chat. Here's a CRN for Mac level 1. Since I'm doing this, might as well send it to you. And then this is the Mac level 2. I guess this time they weren't using.
Have they
There you
listed,
go.
have they listed the iLife?
No, that takes them some time, and since it was a long week, I mean, I know it seems like a long time, but remember we had no one was working on Friday nor Monday. So yesterday they got the dates and they said that they'll do the change at some point soon. So we'll wait and see. When they tell me that it's up, I'll let you know. Okay. Yes, Thomas.
Hi there. I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry for my frog. I was out of town last week, and so I missed both classes.
Mhm.
And the prospect of watching 6 hours of video is daunting.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you're not looking for any more work to do.
No, so listen, don't forget that there's some good news is that next to the links of the class, now I have these little summaries. Actually that day I had forgotten to turn it on. So someone reminded me, oh, thank you. Not for reminding me, but for not reminding me, let me turn it on now. Hold on. There we go. So someone has to remind me. There we go. I just turned it on. So now as of right now, this is being recorded. And so you can go over here to the summary and read what I covered, right? And so it's not the best, but you can read it all and go, oh yeah, this would be something I need to know. Okay, that's about midway through the class. Or no, I know that. And oh, stage manager, really? I didn't remember stage manager. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to look for at the last half hour. Does that make sense? Because here it tells
Well,
you that.
but is there a way to go just to that part of the recording?
Yeah, so no, meaning I don't know exactly where it is, but if you look at, if this is the whole, there's like always like, from the beginning of the summary, there's like 10 paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paragraphs. So if when I talk about the stage manager is kind of like paragraph 5, then you have an idea that what you need to do is go to like halfway up, right? So if here's a
Okay, so
video,
that's my suggestion. You're
yeah.
already doing the work of saying what's in it. But,
Mhm.
on the YouTube page,
Yeah, so here I'm on YouTube
in the
and
description
mm,
of the class,
yeah,
underneath it, if you could just divide it into those sections, and if you put the time before each one, it makes that a
I
link
know.
just to that section.
Thomas, it is in the video when it pulls it out because I publish it on YouTube and sometimes it takes 5, 6 hours, sometimes 12 hours until it's finally working. I'd have to find it, go back, open it up and start finding. Here I talked about this. Here I talked about this. Give you a link. That would take me another hour and a half per class. I just
Right.
I don't have that.
Or since you're already doing the summary,
This is not me. This is automatic. It's
I see.
AI is doing this, and this is new, and that we started doing it as of last session, the last few weeks. So I'm doing it now again. This is AI, it's an artificial intelligence of Zoom who picks up my words and writes, Diana said this, and Diana said that, and Diana said that, but it doesn't give me time codes or any way for me to know exactly where. I'm just saying it kind of gives you an idea of what I covered, and then you know, well, I should go and read the last half. And then if you see that I'm talking about multiple windows and you go, nope, stage manager came up there, then scroll a bit further front. You know what I mean? Like use
Right.
this
But
to give
again,
you an
all I'm
idea.
suggesting is that if AI can do that, it can tell you the time for each part too, and that would make it much, much, much more usable.
That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? But no, this is all
Yeah.
AI does. This is a new feature they introduced, and I'm sure that people are requesting them, and I'm sure that they're going to start doing something like that. Like time code at this time, this started and that started. But as is, they take the sound that they hear and they put it into 9 paragraphs, and that's as far as they go. And this didn't even exist a few uh you know, as of December, they started doing this November last year. So I started using the feature, but already to make this, they put it in a format that disappears in 14 days. So I have to do an extra 20 minutes to get this page up for you guys so that it's eternal and format it and whatever. And that's kind of at this point as far as I'm going to go with that. So if they perfect their AI system and put the time code, that would be awesome.
But
Uh,
again, I'm
Diana?
sorry,
there right
but
now. Yeah,
just one
Oh,
further point. I mean,
yeah.
if you even just posted that summary on the video, where we don't have to go find another document to tell us to come back to the video, it would just post it right there on the comments under the video. It seems just as easy for you and again, more useful.
Let me see if it's possible. Let me do a command copy and go into the video and see if I can do that. Let me see if I can edit, not the video, but the transcript. Let's see if I paste in here. There, it's been pasted. Let me save that and nope, it's not letting me save. What are the errors that it sees? Oh, it only lets me do 5,000 words and I have 67,000 characters. So yeah, let me get rid of, I don't know, next steps and quick recap. I don't
Yeah, or
know.
maybe just something to
that-
watch as it
Is
improves.
that 5,600? So it's still once less. Okay. Meeting summary. I don't know. I'll have to play with it. Clearly it's it could work. 50, I'm still 500, and so I have to edit it because I'm even the very basic isn't letting me go. My description is too long. So okay. Maybe I can throw that into Chat GPT and tell Chat GPT to re-summarize it to 5,000 words. I can try something like that. Thank you for your suggestions, actually. Do you mind sending me a quick email? Because I might forget to give it a try that I said, try Chat GPT to summarize to 5,000 words, the summary, and to throw it onto YouTube. And if so, I'm happy to do that since I have done the work of making that legible. Cool. Great ideas. Barbara.
Okay, so I was wondering, I see that March 3rd is the first of the Mac 1 class.
Yeah.
When does this intro class end? What's the last day of?
Next Monday. So we have today and Monday, 2 more classes.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. You're welcome.
Next
Right.
Monday. Okay, so only
Yeah.
one more.
Yep. So, and for better for worse, this little place where all the recordings happen gives you, and I hear the
Oh,
dates. Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. Tracy.
Which app are you using on the chat? Do you know? Is it Chat GBT?
The one that does the summary,
Yeah.
it's Zoom. Zoom that's recording the recording is listening in. It's called AI Companion. It's one of the buttons down here that I have, and I turn it on and Zoom does that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it would be good to look into it a bit more and see if there's a chance for time codes. I have turned on all the features for time coding, and I haven't seen the videos are time coded. Maybe inside of their Zoom that lasts 14 days, they might have it time coded, but when I transfer it to YouTube, it's not time coded. So I don't know. But I'll do a bit more exploration with that now that you had that suggestion, Thomas, because maybe it's right there. Maybe I just do a bit more exploration and it's an easy solution. I haven't found it yet, but that doesn't mean it's not to be found. They change, they update these apps all the time, and just because it wasn't there last month doesn't mean it's not there now. Vicky?
Just to clarify, so your recordings are indefinite, but I thought you said there was another recording that only had 2 hours. Is that the one that's on YouTube? Or two weeks?
To the one that I just recorded of last week, and it'll keep happening anytime that I'm showing contacts information or emails. The recordings were in that class. There's that content in the video. When I post it in YouTube, YouTube says, "Oh no, this is we've taken it down because of harassment and bullying," and they
Right.
take it down. So like if right now I go
How
to my
bully?
YouTube page, because people do that, unfortunately. They go into
What did
let
they
me see
do?
where all my videos are. See this one right there is the one of February 12th. And see, it says removed. And then they tell me what the terms, it's been removed because of inappropriate content. The inappropriate content is that I have posted information in there seemingly of people's personal contact information, which can be used to then attack you, harass you, and all that kind of stuff. And so they don't allow it. YouTube's like, you can't use this. So then I have to link you to the Zoom company who lets your video stay on, but only for 14 days. So whenever I say this one is on Zoom, you guys have to hurry and watch it in those 2 weeks because I have no other way to post it for you guys. Okay, but everything else, so the vast majority of the videos are always on forever, as long as you keep the links. And just the ones that YouTube removes, I then repost in a different way. And they need that code, okay, which is posted in the page. All right. Barbara, did we both lower your hand? That's why it's up, or do you have another question?
Oh,
It's typical that you lower and I lower and then boom, it's up again. Okay, great.
I do have one more question.
Mhm.
So, I was just, working on my computer and on some other stuff. I had all these questions and I wanted to write them down, and then but I wanted to ask you, will there be a time period where we can just ask you random questions about whatever? Or
Yeah,
do-
I tried to do that towards the end. My goal has always been to leave the last 15 minutes for random questions, but in the end, a lot of people might take with one question the full 15 minutes. If you look at the recordings, I always stay another half hour or whatever answering questions. So that would be a good time. I tried to do it within the last 15 minutes of class. I'm just not very good at noticing that it's time to tell you to ask questions. I have an alarm now that goes off 15 minutes before the class ends so that I can do that. But if I'm in the middle of something, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I can't do that. Ask me when I'm done. But yeah, so I do my
Okay.
best to help, but yeah. I wish I had a time where I can just say, this is open lab, just come
Yeah.
in and ask me,
Right.
that would be great, but we don't have that. So it has to be, these classes are part of certificates, and the certificates have to be very specific of what's being taught. And I can't just say, I'm just helping people for half an hour or whatever. So even though I've worked on your guys' quite a few times on your guys' computers, but I always say, do your best to respect my time, because I'm not very good at telling you, nope, gotta go.
I know.
So if you have a
No,
question, try to keep it brief. And if it's going to be too long, and if I don't know the answer, I'll send you to Mac Tech Support, which is amazing. And they spend hours with you, and they don't charge you, and they take over your computer, like I do sometimes with Zoom, but they do it with their features, and and they can really help. So take advantage that
Who was
Apple
that?
does that.
Who
What's
does that? Did you say Apple does it?
Apple.
Oh.
Yeah, Apple Tech Support. Go to the Apple page, tech support. Some people know the number by heart. Is it Lee who used to know it by heart? Lee who isn't here right
I
now,
can
but
get it for you.
yeah, he's
I'll get it
always
for you.
always one of you guys has it. Yeah. Yeah, you can just call them, and they yeah, they're really
Yeah,
helpful.
great,
Yeah.
great to know. Thank you.
They're free of charge too. It used to be that you
Yeah.
had to have a 3-year
That's true, Molly.
contract.
You've used
Now
them
it's
quite a bit.
free. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
you used to have to pay to have all the extreme, whatever, the expensive, now you can just get their help without paying. They are not good at saying that you don't need to upgrade your computer. If something's wrong, they'll just, oh, your computer's old or full. They don't say, hey, empty it out. They just go, you need to buy another one. But other than that, they're really helpful.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for helping out with the people who have these questions about numbers and things. I know that, yeah, I know Molly, you use them quite a bit too. People who use them a lot are the ones who tell me, because actually I've only used them once and they were really helpful, but it's you guys telling me that that they're very helpful, that keeps working. All right. So Julie, you're saying that you couldn't get in either, and Lee was having issues getting in. So I'm not sure if that's two people saying the same thing. Now it's not.
Yeah, I had that problem, but I went to an old email that you sent with the link, and it came on.
And I
I
had to
think-
go through Safari. I mean, it didn't
Okay.
make sense.
Yeah,
I went to an
it
old
wasn't
one.
it wasn't a live link.
Yes? No? Oh, my internet connection is unstable. That's not good. I have it wired in. Did you guys freeze? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
We're
did
not
go in and out
responding.
for a bit.
Okay. And did you guys get in using today's link for the most part?
Through Safari.
No,
Oh,
not today's link. I had to use a link from the first session. I went way back to the first session
okay. I
and
need to
used
look
that
into that
link.
then.
Yeah,
Huh.
I used that link and got me on.
Okay.
I got on with the one from today's email.
From today's email, I did send two. So maybe,
most
I mean, it
recent
was a
one.
repeat.
I think it was the most recent one.
I shot two out. I had one for last Monday, one for Wednesday. Then I wrote the one for this Wednesday yesterday, but I had already written it before. So two went out today. So I'm sorry about that. But
I tried
anyway,
every one of them.
I don't know. That's so weird.
I had a bit of difficulty. It was just being cranky. So I had to go out and try and come back in 3 or 4 times.
But that's a bunch of you saying this now. So I'm going to, when Lee first said it, I said, okay, well, one person, but if it's more, not that I'm discarding one person's saying, but when all of you or many of you have had troubles, I wonder if it's a Zoom issue with City College. I'm going to write it down and report it and have them check it, because then it's not the link, especially when I have a direct, today's link did work and the rest of you are somehow here. And who knows who's not here that just couldn't get in. So that's, oh well. All right. So we have you guys had from the first couple of days you had to work on putting in your accounts. Then you had to work with multiple windows. You had to test out everything we did last week. We started working on how to handle multiple apps open, multiple windows open, how to organize them. And I showed you ways of popping the windows into the right and left side of the screen. There's a feature now where you just drag it and it kind of pops into two halves. Then I showed you full screen. Then I showed you escape to get out of full screen mode. But then I taught you the stage manager, where all of that goes away and puts itself on the side of the screen, and then you can open one app at a time.
Right.
And your homework was to practice, check it out, have successes, which is great, and failures, questions. This didn't work for me, and write it down. And that's always the part of the homework where you then get to ask oof, that's not good. I just moved my power and my computer. My power and everything is a bit all over, and my screens just went all black and opened up again. I think I shouldn't touch the power right now. So any questions? Anybody? First of all, did anyone do anything with that? Did you play with the stage manager? Did you dare try it on your own? Did you attempt it?
Yeah, I don't have a stage manager.
You're in
I
Monterey.
have, yeah, Monterey.
Yeah, Monterey doesn't have it. Monterey, you and Barbara, right? Have
Yeah,
Monterey?
I just use the yellow. There's a green and there's
Yeah,
yellow and
remember the
red.
yellow button? The yellow button
The
is the
yellow
one that
button I've been
minimizes.
using for years, and it really is the most
It
helpful.
really does. So here, I'm going to share my screen. She's talking about this one here, which is the one
Yeah,
that
it's
minimizes, and it kind of zooms itself away and it puts itself down here. And then when you want it, you just click on it and it pops up again, right? So that's really good to cleaning out your screen. I'm going to open a couple more things. So now first of all, remember that I always tell you at the beginning to turn off, close everything that you have that's running around that you didn't even know that you needed. And you'll know that if you you didn't even know that you had it open. And you'll know that because you go down here and you'll discover that there's little black dots in many things. So like this one's open, but no, I don't see any of it. But if I click on it, there's the window I had just minimized. And this one is open. And if I click on it, there's the window. They were just minimized. So these are programs that are running. Of course, Zoom is also running. But that means I have 1, 2, 3 running, and then the Finder is always running. So in our class, we're always going to have the Finder running because that's the computer at work. And we're always going to have Zoom running because that's how we're communicating, right? So that's our side of things. By the way, I'm putting up, I'm going to put up my Zoom in the other computer too, so that I can.
Again, how do we get rid of them?
How do you get rid?
Yes.
To minimize them. Yeah, so I'm reviewing now. First, I want you to open a bunch of things. So right before I start doing that, I want everyone to first, let me stay co-host on this other screen. Here we go, so I can see you guys better. Here we go. And so what I'm going to do is open at least 3 or 4 things. I want everyone to do that. So I have a couple of windows up. Here's another one. And so I want you to open some particularly small, like here, the system settings, which we're going to go up to anyway. So open the system settings. So have at least 4 little dots open in the bottom, at least 4, because 2 you can't turn off, right? One is Finder, one is um, Zoom. So at least 2 more, that gives you 4 windows. And if you can do a few more, that's better. And then make sure to click on the word on the Finder icon to open a Finder window. And that gives us the busy screen. And so as a quick review, one option, which is the one that Molly said, is she just minimizes everything. So she goes over to this little yellow button that's at the top left. You have red, green, and yellow on all of them. Click the yellow one and boom, it minimized itself. It put itself here next to the trash. Then I'm going to minimize the next one. Then I'm going to minimize the next one. And then I'm going to minimize the last one. And boom, my screen has no more open apps, it would seem. But that's not true. The apps are running. And as long as you're aware that they're running and you need all 4, that's good. Here they are. And once I want it again, I'll just go, oh, I'm ready to use the Finder again. Boom, I click on that, up it comes. That's good to do as long as you're aware of them. But what you don't want to do is to have many apps running and you're not aware that they're not running. Because when you have too many apps running, that's when it's possible that your computer begins to slow down. Especially, and particularly if you're using a Safari or Chrome or anything, and if you have many tabs open. Like right now, I have a bunch of open tabs here. And my computer can handle this. This computer can handle that. I could have 10 tabs open or 20 tabs open and my other computer would be crashing because all those tabs that are open means that there's this page is available, this one is available, this one's available. And the internet is working, the computer's working really hard to keep all of those pages upgraded, especially if one of the pages that you're using is for example, weather.com that is constantly updating, or news, things that constantly change and update. The computer has to be using that information to keep them up and running. And then if your computer starts crashing, it's because maybe you have just Chrome open, but you have 10 or 20 tabs open, and that really slows you down. Okay, so you want to be careful with that. So that's one way to do it. And if there's any questions about that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll transition really quickly to do a very quick review of the Stage Manager. So I'm gonna open up all of these again. There we go. I have all my windows in the way. And Stage Manager was something I could find here in the system settings. And again, this is not for Monterey, okay? But if we went into the system settings, desktop and dock, then over here meaning that starts with the size of the dock. Someone the other day said that their dock, and then emailed to me when you were practicing that their dock magnification or whatever wasn't changing, and you need to turn that on. See how when I touch it, it gets bigger? But if your magnification is on off, then it doesn't do that feature. It just stays that size. So your magnification slider has to be on for it to kind of animate and magnify. It was one of you guys who did your homework by sending me the email of your paragraphs of what you had studied, and I can't remember exactly who, because fortunately a lot of you guys did that. Was that you, Jane, then? Okay.
No,
So
I've
that-
got something that won't go down. Okay,
Okay.
you'll fix
So-
it later.
Down from there, it says desktop and Stage Manager.
Yes, you do.
These check boxes can be on, and the one that really makes a difference is this one here called Stage Manager. When I turn it on, suddenly everything I've opened is going to head over to the right side of the screen. And if I want to switch to that one instead of this one, I click on it, and the one I was using gets small and the next one gets big. And then I switch to that one. So it's a one at a time kind of situation. So then some people have 5 or 10 things open up here, and then they only open the one that they're interested in. My recommendation is if you're using 5 or 10 things at a time, go for it if your computer can handle it. But if your computer is slowing down and you have stuff here that you're not using, definitely close them, right? If this is Safari and I'm not using it, why have it open? And I did show you really quickly, and I'm going to show you again now. If I say
Are you
close
sharing
them,
your screen? Sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing your screen? I don't see anything.
yeah, so let me stop and start again. Yeah, I am, but sometimes it gets lost, so I'm going to start again.
Oh, what am I doing?
I'm just starting it again.
Oh, okay. Now
Sometimes I have to stop and start it for it to show up on
okay,
people's
now I
page.
see it. Thank you.
So now, hopefully you've all turned on the stage manager and you have this feature working. And at the very least, you need to attempt it, right? So who turned it on and is it working? Give me here, I'm saying that. Let me clear your feedback and start again because I didn't say that. Who tried, even if you didn't do it over the whole week that we've had, that we weren't meeting, who has just turned on the stage manager and is it working? And if not, I need to repeat it. If you tried it and it didn't work. So I'm seeing 3 yeses and then silence. So remember, it's either yes or no. Okay, so either yes, you tried it and it worked, or nope, didn't try it yet. Or nope, it's not working. So the red for no is the red X. The yes is, yep, I tried it and it's working. The nope is nope, either because your computer doesn't have it. That would be Molly and Barbara. Jane, your computer has it. You have Sequoia, don't you? Or
But it didn't work until last night, thanks to Apple.
Oh,
I
that's
finally got
true.
them and they cleared it up.
There you go. You had a new computer and it wasn't working. So there you go. She called Apple. And if you guys look at the chat, she just put the information. She just wrote Apple Care 1-800-273-275-2273. She thinks you have to purchase a repair care package. Actually, I don't think so.
You don't have to
Um,
purchase Apple support. You do have to purchase Apple Care.
But you have to buy a desktop or
I don't
Okay.
know.
So,
just thought it was my-
Judith, can you explain that? Apple Care versus Apple Support?
Apple
I am
Support-
learning something here today.
Apple support is different than Apple Care. Apple Care you pay for, and Apple support you don't.
Oh,
But-
yeah, okay. Apple Support
this-
helps you with this, yeah.
Yes, Apple support, but this is the correct number for Apple support.
Yeah, and what happens is that if you have Apple Care, if you paid for Apple Care and they say you need to fix it, then they fix it for you for free because you pay for Apple Care. But Apple Support will still help you
Right.
troubleshoot it. You'll talk, they'll take over, they'll fix things. It's just when it's hardware issues, like if your computer's malfunctioning, that's when you need to have bought Apple Care for them to replace it. It's like insurance, right? But Apple Support still helps you figure out anything that's software based, which many times the issues is software based, and that's what they help you with. Okay. Yeah, I thought you were going to say something different. I was like, okay, is there something new there? But no, that's good. So yeah, Apple Care is you just call and they help you. I have a question. This isn't working. Lee spends hours with them. That's where he learns a lot of this stuff. He always tells me that. So anyway, I've got quite a few no's on people using Stage Manager. My question now to those of you who said no, other than Molly and Barbara who don't have it, the rest of you said no. So Tracy, Jane, well, Julie, you said Jane, you just got your computer working. So Tracy, Julie, and Justine, did you try and didn't like it, or did you just not want to use it? That's my question. Not if you did did you try it and did it work, and then you decided you don't want it, or
Yeah, I
you're
didn't
just not
want it.
using it? Okay. Justine?
I somehow if you talked about that last time, somehow I missed it.
Mhm.
So that's not something that I had heard about.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
I've
great.
not
Then
seen it.
it's towards the end of the recording. We did a much more considered conversation about it versus what I
You-
just showed, which is really quickly.
Do you get to it through settings?
Yep. So I'll show you really quickly one more time. On settings, you go to desktop and dock. And under desktop and dock in this area, you have the settings, and this is the feature that turns it on and off, the one called Stage
Gotcha.
Manager.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if you go watch the recording, you only have one more week to watch it because of the whole debacle. Then we did a lot of conversation about it, so I'll let you go and explore a bit more. But that's the gist of it. And then we went through like 4 other ways to clear our screen and 4 other ways to do things. So for now, let's turn it off again. And those of you who love it and want to keep it on, then hurrah for you, keep it on. Those who don't want it, hurrah for you, keep it off. I'm never saying that there's a thing you need to do. I'm not saying you have to do it, but I need you to try it, okay? In class, we all try what I'm telling you. is a feature that might help, and then you can pick and choose. I like it or I don't like it. So,
Can I, Deanna,
like
can I ask a
Julie
question?
says she didn't like it. That's for the good answer. Yes.
I have a question. So if I do check it right now and it does the thing and I decide I don't like it, if I just uncheck it, will it put
Yeah.
everything back the
Yeah,
way it was?
yeah. Look,
Okay.
I just turn it on. Stage manager is
Ah.
working. Turn it off. Stage manager
Stage
stops working.
manager. It's a funny name.
It's like, that's
All right,
it,
thanks.
right? Yeah, it's just like who is featured, I guess, or something like that, right? So here we feature that one and we feature that one. I don't know. I guess the desktop is called a stage and we take turns at featuring each other. I guess that's why it's called the stage manager. I don't know. I don't choose the names. I am the, how do you call it? I am the messenger, not the maker of the message or whatever, however that saying goes. Okay, so I'm going to go back here and turn it off for now. So we're going to keep working with it off. We're also going to keep working with it off. We're going to either close or minimize things. But now is the question is, you told us not to use the red button. Who remembers that I said do not use the red button? Yeah, I was like, if you guys were in person, I would go in and do a little like slap. No, I wouldn't do that. But I would want to slap your hand if I see you turning off the red button. The red button only works for a few apps. So people get accustomed and they turn things off with a red button because it works now and then. So for example, the system settings has only one window. Every time I go to another place, it shifts in here to something else and shifts in here to something else. So it never opens another window. If I click on this, it shifts in here. So there's no other possible windows. So if that's happening, everything is shifting inside of the one window. Then if I use the red dot, yep, the app closed. If I look down here, there's no dot under the app. So you can get accustomed to that and go, oh, so using the red dot closes the app, especially if you come from the world of PCs where that's kind of how you close an app, but not on the world of Macs. On the world of Macs, if you have an app that has more than one window available to you, then I'm on Safari right now, okay? I have a window right here. If I close the window by using the red dot, guess what? Safari's still open. And if I look down here, Safari's little dot is still open. So all those 5 tabs that I had open, they're still running. So the computer's still using all those computer resources to keep all those apps running, all those tabs updated, refreshed, okay? So that didn't close it. It just closed a window in my app. And if I click on Safari, boom, that window pops up again. I did manage to close it correctly. I would have had to use the Safari, quit Safari. So I would have to go to the name of the app and quit. Now, notice that I didn't click on quit yet, but there's also a shortcut. For those of you who are a bit more advanced, I want you to start learning shortcuts because this is the only shortcut. This is the same shortcut that works to turning off any app on the Mac. So it's always Command Q, quit, Command Q. What do I mean by that? If you could see my keyboard, I'm putting my finger on the Command key. Look at your space bar, and then to the left or the right of the space bar, there's a key that's called the Command key. See? And it's got this little like flowery type of shape. That is the Command key. So you're going to hold down to the Command key, and then you're going to tap the letter Q. So keep the Command key held down, and then just tap the letter Q. Boom. And Safari just closed. And if I look at Safari, there's no dot in the bottom. That's an actual quit. Okay? So now I'm going to do the same for Wacom. And always the one that's going to quit is the one whose name is by the apple. So I might be seeing Safari right there, and I might be seeing Wacom over here, and it might be really tiny, or I might have Safari really tiny way over there. And so you're not paying attention to it because it's over there, but you have Wacom turned on, but notice that really it's Safari, even though you're looking at the Intuos Safari, all that kind of stuff, it says Safari up there. So that means that this is my active, actual foreground app. As long as it says Safari, if I do Command quit, the Safari is going to close, not the one that seems to be taking up all my screen because it's the one that's on top. It's just so tiny that it didn't seem like it's on top. Does that make sense? If I make it bigger, you'll see that it was on top. So that's the one that'll quit. Now, some people, sometimes this is hard to notice. Which one is up? Is this one up or is that one up? I don't know. So the easiest way to quit something, even if you're not aware which one is active, which one is not, is really to go to its icon and do right click, quit. Then there's no question that what I'm quitting is Safari and not the Wacom tablet, right? Right click and then hit quit. That's it. I go to the next one, right click, quit. And now I'm left with just Zoom, which I can't close, and the Finder window. The Finder I can't close. If I right click, there's no quit here. There's no quit because the Finder is what I see when my computer is up and running. I will never have the Finder off, even when Zoom is on, off, and you open your computer. If nothing else is on, the Finder is on because that is your system, operating system's face, so to say. It's your operating system. So you can't quit it. What you can do is hide it. I can hide, and then this window that is a Finder window will close. So if I close a Finder window, here's where it becomes, and this is very important. This is not an app. This is a window showing me what's inside my computer. And so a window I can close by using the red X. I'm closing my Finder window, and my Finder stays open. But it's not the whole app that I've closed. I've only closed a Finder window. Now I'm going to click one more time on the Finder icon and a window opens up again. I close it. I can close and open a window. The app doesn't close. If I open Safari and I close the window, the app didn't close. I need to go here and right click and quit. So this is all stuff that we did in a more prolonged manner last week, but it's been a whole week and you guys did this part, the quitting, at the very end of class. Some of you were already not here or you haven't had a chance to practice. So I want you guys to practice while I take some questions of doing the, just doing that, the command and quit, or double, 2 fingers down for the right, right click and quit. While I take some questions. Okay, so Denise, thanks for your patience. You've been hanging out there. Yep. Your sound is up.
Yeah, here we go. I am not quite sure if it's relevant to the class or not, but since I added my other email and mingled with those emails, I have an issue when I go to my photo and I want to send a picture to myself. It goes to an outbox. I have never seen that outbox before, but it doesn't go to my what I call personal email. Is that a question that you can answer, or it's completely nothing to do?
I can. It's just that I am seeing that this is a problem, not your problem, my problem. I usually don't teach this that I taught you guys of putting in your internet accounts. I usually don't teach it until we until we learn about the email program and the photos program, all of that in Mac level 2. But
So
then
it has
that takes,
nothing
no, let me explain. Let me just explain. Hold on. So because they are related, by having you put the accounts right now, yet not teaching you how to use the email, you're having these problems. And there's someone else was having some issues last time. And I'm like, I'll teach you later, but the later isn't for quite a few weeks. So I'm in a bit of a dilemma what to do about this. Because I want you guys to be able to set it up, but not to have problems.
Right.
So, because you need to learn how to use it, right? Let me just stop my share. So, how about those of you who are interested in the answer? How about we stay a bit later tonight? Not tonight, today, if you're able to stay, and then because it's
for the
not a
moment,
quick
I airdrop them to my laptop. So
yeah, so it's not a
everything,
quick
but-
response. So give me, I'll try to remember to finish the class 15 minutes early, and then the people who want to stay and hear it, and it will probably go on further, then please stay, and then we'll talk a bit more about that, okay? Because I'm not ready to completely explain that to everything and everyone yet. I have some more basic stuff to cover.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to that one.
Yeah, thank
you. I'm always testing what's a better way to do that. And I figured, in the fall, I only had in the summer, sometimes I only get to teach Mac level 1 and 2 and not the intro. Then I have to cram everything in. So when I have the intro, I get to do more. I thought, let me do this now so that they're ready. They're set up for level 2 and 3, but 1 and 2. But then I didn't think about the problems this might entail. So lesson learned. So hang in there and do remind me not to forget to talk about it towards the end of class. Remind me again that we were going to talk about it. Okay, please. All right. Otherwise I'll get in on what I'm teaching and I might forget to leave time. Yes, Vicky? You're muted. You're muted. When
Yeah,
I see
so,
people,
okay, so I was trying to do what you said, you were teaching us, but one thing came up, free form, which I have no idea what it is. The only way I can get rid of it is to force quit it.
oh, we should be able to just quit. Freeform is an app and it started, I think with Ventura. It's a new app and it's this one here and it's a
Yeah, I don't even know what it is.
planning and drawing app. Yeah, but let me just open it so you know. I'm not going to teach you the app right now. But in this app, like any other app, if you want to get rid of it, you go to Freeform and quit, or you go down here and right click and quit. It's no different
Yeah.
in that sense than any. So if it's freezing, I don't know.
Yeah, and it was doing it for a number of days, so it's obviously something I'm doing, or, I mean, I can force quit it, but I was just wondering if you.
So if you open it, it doesn't allow you to just go to the word freeform and quit. It just doesn't do that.
No, it doesn't, and I even tried Command Q, because thinking,
Yeah.
well, okay, but yeah, I mean, I
If
can
the
force
word,
quit it,
but right now doing this and quit doesn't exist. That choice doesn't exist for you.
no, I mean, it's just,
Go ahead and share your screen because that might be
I mean,
that might be about opening and closing programs is what we're talking about. So if it's related to this, I want to see it. Can you share your screen? The other question wasn't related to what I'm doing today, but this one is. So do you
okay,
need a reminder about how to share your screen?
um,
Go over to the share button.
okay, I need to move you over so I can get to it, okay.
That's fine. Click on the share button. That's the green button once, and then again on the share button that appears at the bottom. So it's 2 share buttons. Great. Okay, so let's go down to the left on the stage manager. No, 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 go to open it up from the stage manager. I see it there on the left. But it's there on the left,
Oh,
of your
yes, yes,
screen. Yeah,
yes.
open it up. Okay, it's just that you haven't said okay to it yet. It said welcome. And at the bottom right, it is kind of out of your screen. There's a little blue button. It's kind of bigger than your screen, so you're not seeing it. But at the bottom of where it says collaborate with others, under your dock, there's the okay. But hit the return key. The return key is an okay. So give it hit the return key right now.
Okay.
That says okay. There you go. The app is running now. Now you can go ahead and close it.
Okay, great. That was easy.
Now go to form and quit. When you first, no, you don't force quit. Close the force quit. You should rarely, if ever, when you force quit, you make weird things happen on your computer. So now go to the word free form and quit, or do Command Q, or go right click quit, whichever you want.
There was
there, that one. Right click and quit. Right click is 2 fingers down, or right click with your there and quit. Bottom choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So guys, when you first use an app, the first time ever that you upgrade or update, there's updates made to these apps each time. And so when you open it up, it says, welcome, these are the new changes. And at the bottom, there's a button that says, okay, next, thank you for talking to me. Her resolution is pretty big, and so it was out of reach. So if you ever need to say yes, okay, anything of the positive sense in any of those dialog boxes, and you can't reach them, the return key is okay. So I just told her, hit your return key, and that it's like you clicked on the word okay. And if you ever need to say, no, I don't want, it's the escape key. So the top left key, the escape key is no, cancel, don't want. Return key is yes, okay, go for it, connect. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank
when you
you.
need to use your keyboard for these choices, because you can't reach the button they're telling you to reach, then the return key is all the positive choices. The escape key is all the negative choices. Make a note of that and remember it as escape is always get out of there, and yes is hit the return. Okay. And so she was opening something she hadn't opened yet. So let me give you an example again. I'm going to stop your share. I'm going to share my screen, and here we go. And is there any, because I just updated, so there's quite a few of these that I probably haven't opened. I think I probably haven't opened news.
Oh.
And yeah, so see, welcome back, best stories. Like when you first open something, it has things to tell you and it'll say things like continue or go ahead, right? In my case, I have a very small resolution, so it's fine. But in her case, that button was kind of down there. You see what I mean? Like she couldn't reach it. And that was the button that she couldn't reach. And so every time she opened, she couldn't quit it. So the computer's like, no, you gotta answer. So in my case, I can move it up to answer, or I could have just hit return. That said, I still was able to quit. So anytime you get one of those, ooh, we've just updated, here's the new, so I don't know, I think I haven't opened the App Store since, let me see. See, what's new? Because I haven't opened it ever since I upgraded. So then what's new? Let me tell you what the new stuff is and see that continue. That's the one that was hiding for her for that app called Freeform. And so without hitting that, it doesn't let you continue. You need to say continue or hit the return key and then it works. All right. Once you do that, it doesn't show up anymore. It's like, okay, you've read the news and now you can just use the app. All right. So thanks. Yeah, good question. And that had to do with starting and restarting and opening and closing. So that was a very appropriate question for the moment.
Yes.
I don't randomly answer some people and some people not. It has to do with keeping it to a theme, right? So I don't want to just get the class to go all over the place. And so right now how do you get class apps to be active and not active, close them, quit them, begin them. And so that was why I was answering this one. Barbara. You're muted.
I have my dock on the bottom and I can't find the button anywhere to make it zoom in on where your pointer is hovering.
In your case, since it's you're in the system preferences instead of in the system apps, let me actually move this over to this computer. Okay, so in your case, you go to the system preferences and then you head over here to the dock and menu bar. Click on dock and menu bar. And then here's where you do the magnification or size small. It's basically the same as down here.
Yeah, I have the size and the magnification on max.
So what can you not see then? Sorry. I thought you said you couldn't see the magnification. I'm sorry, maybe I didn't listen.
No, when I'm on my cursors on the app, I don't see it magnifying.
So right now I have the magnification, see the check mark there? Now it magnifies. So the magnification is here. I'm gonna make my dot, small dock, large magnification. And let me stop hiding. And so then when I touch it, the magnification is pretty huge. But if you have your dock already large, there's not much more to magnify, right? And you have this somewhere in the middle, it just magnifies a little bit. So it's just a matter of how much, in compare, I'm going to make it max magnification and a small dock, and then it really jumps up when I touch it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Did you have
like,
this
just
check
pop
mark?
up? It doesn't. It doesn't have just a, that app get big. They're all the same.
Okay.
Even though I'm scrolling on them.
So you have this one really small. Size of the dock small.
Yeah.
Magnification large, and the check mark is turned on.
Let me make sure that, the check mark was not on.
Oh, well, there you go. Check mark.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Cool. All right. Great. Let me stop my share. I always go through all the different steps before I ask you to actually share. Cool. All right. Molly, I want to start with some new stuff. I mean, this is all part of me saying, okay, how did it go with everything we've been doing?
Yeah.
But let's move forward. So yeah.
Yeah, how do you get rid of like an app you don't want from the toolbar?
Well, that's part of today. So there you go. Good question. I like it when the question leads into the natural movement of the class.
You cover it on the iPhone because I have Threads. I don't know where I got it from, but it's such a scary looking app. So I'm gonna have to get rid of it.
Actually, I don't know how scary it is because I've never downloaded it. So, but I'll show you how to get rid of it on the phone too. But for now, let's
That'll be
start on
fun.
the computer where we do that first, and then we'll move to the phone. So thanks for that reminder about the phone, because normally I show how to do it on the computer, but I don't usually show how to get rid of stuff on the app on the phone. So I'll do that. All right. So guys, back to sharing my screen now. Everyone, we're working on something new. So everyone who's been a bit tuned out, please come back in. And also remember that sometimes, yes, of course, there's things happening you can tune out, but on the other hand, sometimes the stuff, all these questions, I teach new things and these answers, things that might have been something you didn't even know to ask. So do try to keep an ear in, even if you're, working on something else. All right. I lead so many Zooms that I'm always on in the Zoom, but every now and then I have to be part of a Zoom class. If it's a meeting that I'm involved in, it's great. But now and then I'm in a Zoom class where I'm just listening. And so it's really hard sometimes to keep the focus on. I get it. So that's why when I try to get you guys to do the stuff I'm doing, even if it's the question that someone else has, don't just sit there watching the other person do it. If you're seeing them do something that you don't know, do it on your computer. A, you'll learn much more, and B, it'll help you keep focused and have your own questions about it later, right? So don't just kind of watch, but be actively doing the things that we're talking about. And if I've opened the system settings 20 times, you should have opened it 20 times and clicked it on and off. You should have clicked on, you know what I mean? To keep practicing that which we're talking about, to keep it active. All right. All right. So here we have a doc. 90% of the times people leave in the doc everything that comes with a computer. For example, if Freeform came in the computer and you've always wondered what it was and you left it in your doc, why is it even in there if you're not using it, right? I'm not going to be able to teach you Freeform right now. It's a planning kind of note taking, but in a graphic visual manner app. It's very useful for when you need it. It's not for people who are planning projects, project-based teamwork. It's very useful. If you're trying to write a book or create a script, you might want to put out a bunch of ideas. It's like a lot of post-it notes, and then you organize them into chapters. I mean, it's a great app, but it's not something that most people will use all the time. So why do you need to have it on your dock occupying space if you're one of the ones who doesn't use it, right? In which case, if you have Freeform, do it with Freeform. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. So there's so many ways to get rid of it. One way that I'm going to show you now is typically the way people get rid of stuff by mistake. Like they've always had the app they use there and suddenly it's gone. And it's because if you click and drag your mouse up, like just drag up by mistake, boom, you've removed it.
Oh, okay.
It just goes away. And the problem with that is that you might do that to an app that you use a lot. And you're like, where did it go? It was here before and it's not here now. So I just got rid of Freeform. Next to it, I have App TV. I'm going to drag it. And if I just drag it a little bit, it bounces back. See? So it needs to be dragged beyond like a couple of inches. So if I just drag it this much and let go, boom. It's like, it's got like a 2-inch area in which it just kind of bounces back in, boink. But then after that, it removes. So that's one way to do it. So now I got rid of Freeform and Apple TV. All right. What's next? News. Another way to get rid of it would be, and don't worry, guys, I'll have you put them back in, okay, in case you want them. But right now I'm showing you how to get rid of them. I'm going to go to News, and I'm going to right click, go to Options, and say Remove from dock. This is the slow, more civilized way, the one where you're choosing to get rid of it. The other one is what happens many times by mistake. So once again, now I'm going to choose to get rid of it. It wasn't a mistake. I didn't drag it out. I'm right-clicking, going to Options, and removing it from the dock. So now I've gotten rid of 3 apps. Hopefully you did the same ones as me, or if you removed others, you remember which ones you've removed. Because now I'm going to go like, oh, wait a minute. I wanted those apps. Where did they go? Or maybe there's another app I use all the time that's not here, and I have to go search for it always. How do I put the apps back in? So let's go to a Finder window. Head over here to a Finder window and click one time and open a Finder window. Right? When everyone has the Finder window opened, if you've deleted at least 3 apps from your dock and you have your Finder window open, give me a yes. I want to make sure everyone is doing this now. You have to have actively dragged off or right-clicked Options, Remove from Dock to at least 3 apps. When you've done that to 3 apps and you've opened a Finder window, give me a yes. If you're stuck and you can't do one of those steps, this is the time to ask me. Give me a no or raise your hand. Yes, Mary Ellen, how can I help?
Got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull Freeform up, but it's not pulling up. It's opened it, but it's not.
Oh, because if it's open, it won't leave. Yeah. So say that I have Notes app open. Now, if I try to get rid of it, it's like, nope, you're using me. No matter how much you pull up, I can't leave. I'm being used. So the app has to be closed. Thank you for mentioning that. Once you quit, then you can take it off. So the app has to be closed to be able to be removed from the dock. All right. Did that work now, Mary Ellen?
I'm trying to close it.
Okay. So just go to the app and right click and quit. Right click and quit.
I can't get that.
Okay, let me stop my share and give you a hand. I heard Mary Ellen, do you want to share or did it work? I heard you say okay.
It hasn't worked yet.
Okay, so go ahead and share your screen. Sometimes it's just a manual technical thing, and other times there might be something that's not working, so I need to see. Okay. All right, so Freeform, go ahead and have you tried the right click? Do you know how, yeah, right click? No, that's not a right click.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a long click. Right click, do you have a mouse? Hold on. Do you have a mouse or a trackpad? Okay. So right now Freeform is open, so you won't be able to get rid of it. So you need to quit it. So in order to do the right click and you have a trackpad, you need to put 2 fingers down. Okay, so go to the your mouse is not on the icon, so go down to the icon. It has to be over it. Yeah. Now 2 fingers down on your trackpad. 2 fingers down. There we go. Now choose quit. Okay. Now that it's been quit, now go back to it. And the easy way is to right click, 2 fingers down. Nope. You did 1 click. Right click is 2 fingers down. So 2 fingers down. Nope. That's 1.
I'm doing 2 fingers down.
Yeah, it's probable. Look at me. I don't know if you can see my hands. Be careful because 2 fingers down sometimes can be done like, I don't know if you can, I'm not seeing this very well, but sometimes it's like 1 finger falls before the other. Yeah, this is my disgusting finger that got slammed by a door, by a suitcase, sorry. 2 down at the same time, tap. If 1 is even before the other and 1 comes down before the other, then it's a single finger. So 2 gentle fingers down. Okay, and now you can go up to options. Oh, 2 fingers down again, then options, and then remove from dock. That's one way. That's the easiest way. The other way, go to Apple TV. Now, single click and drag it in one big fast movement. No, it's not a deep one. It's just a quick little drag up. It's not a drag in. Yeah, that's a harder one. And most people do it by mistake. So if you can't do that one, that's okay. A lot of the times if you click down too, yeah, it's okay if you can't do it. Because normally you don't want to do it by mistake. All right?
Okay.
A lot of the times by mistake, people, when they're not trying to, boom, it drags off. But ideally, you want to get rid of them. If so, go and do a double, right click, remove, right? So it's okay if you can't do the one that's bad. It's better for you. That way you won't be getting rid of stuff by mistake. Now it's open. See? So there's no remove from dock. Why? Because the app is open. So now you have to quit first. So right click to quit. Good. Now right click again. Now go to options and remove from dock. Okay. So now you've removed 2 at least. You removed Freeform and you removed Apple TV. All right. Before I get a ton more questions about that, let me get people working on adding them back in. And then
Yeah.
we'll practice on, I see 2 more hands up. So then I'll get, while people are removing and adding, removing and adding, I'll keep taking Vicky and Jane's questions, okay? So let me share again with everyone how to put them back in. All right, guys? So I told you to open an Apple Finder window, okay? And if you didn't do it yet, down here from the little half smiley guy face, open a Finder window and go to Applications.
Application.
Choose Applications. And then from Applications, we're going to go find the apps. And right now, it's possible that you are looking at this window this way. I don't know. We're going to, depending on if you're taking my class or not, if you're moving it, looking at it this way, it's icons view. If you're looking at it this way, it's list view. Either way, look for the name. And I'm going to look for the name Freeform as one of the ones that I got rid of right there. So now what I'm going to do, and I recommend while you're learning to do this, to just bring this window down a bit, and we're going to talk more about how to do that, but from the very top of the name so that there's no space in between. And now I'm going to grab Freeform and I'm going to just drag it down and watch, guys. If I try to put it on top of another one, it's not going to work. It's like, nope, no place, nope, it's occupied. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my mouse in between. And when I do that, they go, oh, sure, there's space for you here. And it opens up. And then I let it be there. So now I've added Freeform again. Now the other one I had gotten rid of was Apple TV, I believe. So I'm going to go to, is it under TV? Here it is, Apple TV. So I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drag it and I'm going to put it back there. Apple TV, I think I had gotten rid of notes. And I got rid of one more. Which one was the last one that I got rid of? It's been a while, so I don't remember. I'll find it. It's one of these. TV and news. And I'll grab news and I'll bring it back. So the whole grab and bring it back, which I'm making it seem easy, that's click and drag. It might not be something that you're accustomed to. So click and drag is click and then with your mouse still kind of held down, you start dragging your finger, right? Now, I always find that using a mouse is much easier. If anyone feels that using a computer is hard, I recommend you get a mouse. But if you're so accustomed to your trackpad, this is an easy movement, then go for it. So what I did again, I'm gonna, whoops, I didn't mean to open it. There we go. Let me quit. Command Q. So right click, options, remove from dock, getting rid of news. News is still there. All I did was get rid of the quick access to it. The dock is just a quick access to some of the many apps that come in my computer. So now I'm going to grab it and bring it back because I want quick access to it. Okay, so that's what this is. And then if I want to move it somewhere, I click and hold and I drag it over there and I'll drop it right there, or drag it over there and I'll drop it right there. So if that's something that works for you, practice, practice, practice. Now I'm expecting a lot of questions. So get rid of stuff, put them back in. I'm going to stop my share and I want you to do it at least 10 times, okay? Get rid of an app, keep an eye on which one you got rid, go to the Finder window, find it and putting it back in. Get rid of another one, put it back in. The only one you can't do that to is the Finder, and don't do it to Zoom because we're working on Zoom. So 10 times. Once you've done it 10 times, give me successfully, give me a yes. If there's no success, if there's questions, give me a no or raise your hands. All right, Vicky, I think it was Vicky and two people had their hands up. Jane. Okay, so
Yes.
Vicky was the first one, right?
Sure.
Oh, she's
Wait.
not there. Okay, was it someone else who had their hands? It was Barbara. No, who was? I guess I thought it was Vicky. Okay, Barbara and Jane. You're muted, Barbara.
Where do I start?
You go and put 2 fingers down on an app, which
I
is the
got
right
rid
click.
of some. Yeah.
Okay, so then you go open a Finder window. Did you open a Finder
Okay.
window yet? Click on the
Okay,
word
that was it. It
applications.
was the Finder window.
And then find the app you got rid of and drag it back into the
Okay.
dock.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Jane was next. Judith, give me a sec. I dropped her her hand earlier when I cleared, but Jane was next. Yes, Jane?
Okay, I cannot get to my dock and I cannot move the size of your picture with my mouse, which I usually do. The bottom of my screen is the solid black tape that has audio, video, and all the choices. And it never goes to that.
Okay, so try to hit your escape key so that
Done?
it can.
Oh, yo,
yeah.
hello. Okay,
And
done. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Good. Awesome. I love it when it fixes so quickly. Yes, Judith.
I have a question about one of the apps is saying it's malware bytes. Do I allow full disk access?
Right now, Malware Bytes is an app that helps find malware, which would be viruses and stuff. If you're actually using it and want to use it, and it's something that you're using, then you would have to give it full access so that it can find any issues that it has. But right now, just quit it and practice getting it on and off. It's not about using the apps. It's about getting them on and off the dock. But yeah, if you're going to use it, it needs to read your disk so that it can search for problems.
I don't know if I'm going to use it. Do you use a malware? What is
Just quit it for now then. There's so many apps people have. I can't give you individual recommendations. I have used it and it's not bad, but it wasn't necessarily it's good. It's okay. It's as good as it gets, but it isn't really solve all your problems, but it's not bad.
Okay.
Vicky?
You do have to pay for it.
Yeah. Vicky, if you bought it and you own it, and if you just download a sample, I don't know what the situation is, but yeah, yeah, Vicky.
Yeah. So I was doing that, but you said to try, but then I got an alias.
Okay, so I'll talk about aliases in a minute. Yeah. So we're not in a minute right now. Let me share my screen. So here's what's up. Remember I said, do your best to put your window down here. I had a reason why I said that. It's because when you grab an app and drag it straight down to the dock, it makes space, it drops off, life is good. But, and I'm going to quit this one now. But if perchance your window was a little bit higher like that, and you had to drag it all the way from there to there, if I drag it, and then it doesn't make it all the way there and I drop it right now, then it made an alias. And let me show you again. Let me grab another one that I might not have. What do I not have? Okay, here I have the podcast one. Okay, so I'm going to drag this one, and instead of making it all the way to the dock, I let it go right there. See how it dropped it? You guys don't see because I have it set. Actually, let me undo that. Give me a second. I have something set up that it sorts. So I'm going to undo that so it doesn't sort by any. So it dropped over there. So see how, let me just move it over here so you can see it really well. This is what I wanted in the dock, but I dropped it too early. So what it did is it gave me an icon and a little arrow. And for, depending on the operating system that you have or not, it will say the word alias. It'll say podcast alias, right? And what it is a different place where you can put your apps. The one that I don't recommend, but that some people like. So say that you want to have this app here and you drop it there. Right now I'd have to move it automatically. It's trying to organize itself over there. And so I'm putting it here for you guys to see it better. This is an alias. See this little arrow, little tiny black arrow, depending on your resolution. I have it really big now for this class, smaller when it might look like it. That's an alias. So the explanation of aliases is going to become really important in Mac level 1 when we talk about file organization. But right now we're going to brush upon it. What it is a shortcut to this app. So let me start. I'm going to get rid of these for a second here. I'm going to move them to the trash. So watch. This is an explanation from scratch. Meanwhile, I'm only seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses. That means that the rest of you either haven't done your homework or haven't said, yes, I've done it.
Oh,
Homework is I need you to bring up
I did.
the dock 10 times and then put the app back in again. And once you're done and it's working, give me a yes. So please give me yeses so I know that everyone's accomplished that task. Okay, so here's what's up. If I bought my computer and didn't install any of my own and just bought my computer, it probably comes with like, I don't know, 70 apps. Apps are different programs, software that make the computer do certain things, right? And the computer comes with a bunch of them. And you get to use them according to Mac, the ones that they think you're going to use the most, they put a little quick access to here on the docks. So that's like, imagine, and I always do holiday decorations, those of you who celebrate Christmas or Halloween, if you're the kind of people who decorate your house a lot, you don't have them out all year round. Well, I've heard some people have them at least all January going into February, who knows? But I've heard of someone who does hollow Christmas or something, that she has like Christmas Halloween creatures, so she keeps them all year round. Whatever. Every time I say this, someone has some story. Normally, out they come in October, down back to the attic or garage or wherever storage place you put them in the rest of the year, right? The dock is having the decorations in your living room, and all the rest of them that you're not using are hiding here under the applications window. Look at all the apps that come with a computer, everything here. It's a ton of apps. You don't have access to all of these in the dock. You only have access to the ones that the Mac thought were important for you to have at the very beginning. So if you want to open Safari, it's right there. Boom. I click. And this is just, imagine when you walk into a room and you turn on a light switch and the light that turns on is in the middle of the ceiling. That's what this is. It's a light switch. I'm clicking on Safari and it's turning on that app that's in that Finder window. Okay. So if I instead don't have the Safari thing in here because I removed it, then I have to pretty much pull out the step stool, go all the way up to the middle of my ceiling and pull on the little thing to turn on the light. And that would be the equivalent of going to the Finder window, going to Applications, finding Safari. And when I find it, SA, there it is, you double click from here and boom, Safari opens up. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is where they reside. They reside here. And this was just a quick access link to it. It's my switch. Okay. That's what that was. So for people who come from the world of PCs, for eons, people had in the PC to this day, they had over here, Chrome, they had them out here. So they had, you know, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've seen a person who's on a PC, to open apps for years, their computers have changed and they're getting more like Macs lately. Their screens are a bit cleaner, but they tend to have a lot of icons of the apps they want to use. So then you double click over here and Safari opens. So this is a shortcut. A shortcut on a PC is called an alias on a Mac. So that's what an alias is. It's also a way to get to something, but instead of being on the dock, it's sitting here on your screen in your desktop. Does that make sense, you guys?
Mm-hmm.
That's an alias. Now,
So the
we're gonna,
an alias can be on the dock then.
an alias can only be called an alias on the desktop. If it's on the dock, it's just called an icon on the dock to open the app. It's not called an alias when it's down
Mine
here.
does say on the dock, it does say alias.
Well, because it's possible to grab one of these and put it in the dock.
Okay.
In
So
which
maybe-
case that little arrow shows you it's an alias because you were on the way, like that's just by mistake, so to say. You were on the way to drop it off
Yeah.
and you grab this one. I have to find one that I don't have. Which one do I here? I don't have voice memos in there. So I'll grab this one. As I was taking it there, I drop it, woo, and then I continue and I drop it in there. Now I've put it on the dock and I left an alias,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
So then that's why now up until Sequoia, aliases said the word alias. For some reason now in Sequoia, they've taken away the word alias. So if you guys are wondering where I'm getting the alias word from, it's because for 20, 30, 40, whatever the app is, Mac has been working off. Whenever you have one of these guys, these are called aliases. They say voice memos alias, and they have the little arrow. They left only the arrow. So there's 3 ways to open an app. I'm seeing lots of yeses. That means that everyone's been doing it. Good job. There's 3 ways to open an app. The long way is opening the Finder window, going to the applications and finding it and going, oh, here we go, weather, double click, weather opens up. Yay, cool. That's one way to open it. But that's kind of the long way around to open it. I'm going to go ahead and quit weather. The quickest way is to do it this way, right? By clicking on the dock. But also, and now pay attention to me, because a lot of people are like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my stuff in an alias on the desktop. Well, remember a little bit earlier, we had a bunch of open programs. I'm going to open some more. What did I have open? I had the news open and I had reminders open. What happens when your desktop is full of stuff?
Slow
Can I get to that alias easily?
No.
No. How do I remember? We just did this whole exercise of clearing things out. Here I have the calculator. Now I have a Finder window. I have a bunch of stuff open. It's not easy to get down to the desktop. You'd have to do clear this out or clear this out and clear this out and clear this out. And there we go. Now I can open it. So I don't consider the desktop a very accessible place personally, if you use your computer and you have things open. Much more accessible is the dock because it's at the bottom there, right? So I don't recommend having aliases on there, but if you're so accustomed to yours that you really want to not have it anywhere else, go for it, have it. An alias occupies no mental space for the computer. It's okay to have one there. It's cluttered, but if you think that opening the Finder window and opening that app, that preview that's not on the dock from here is too onerous, then go ahead and put it there. My recommendation is start checking out which apps you use. And for the most part, you probably use 5, maybe 10. Have those 10 on your dock. And then you don't need to ever worry to not be able to access them because you don't have to have them on the desktop. Does that make sense? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of these. And you're like, oh, you're getting rid of the programs. Nope, I'm just getting rid of a little button that turns the program on. So I'm going to move them all to the trash, and I'm going to teach you how to do that quickly next. But I want to give you guys a break because break time has come and gone. And if you use it, put it on the dock. If you don't use it, take it out of the dock. Now, in this class, I'm going to be teaching you how to use some apps that you might want to take because you maybe never use the mail or the contacts or the calendars or the maps or the photos or like there's a bunch here that we'll be using while we go through these 3 classes. So I'd rather you not take them off. But if you do take them off, when the class comes and I say, okay, open your notes app and you don't happen to have it there because you've never used it, you didn't know what it was, well, then you'll just go ahead and grab it by going to the Finder and going to applications and going to notes and putting it back in here. Does that make sense? So it's no big deal either way. Where you don't want to get rid of an application is from the applications place. If you get rid of an app from here, like trash it from here, you're taking it off your computer. So this is the place it needs to be. Whether you have a quick access to it here or there, that is just me not having to pull out the step stool to pull on the string. That's all. Does that make sense? It's a quick access to them. All right. So now I've got yeses from everyone. I am going to give you all the break. And here's my, what time is it? It's 3:02. That one's easy to calculate. We will be back at 3:17. I love it. So be back in 15 minutes at 3:17 p.m. All right. I'm going to mute everyone. See you guys in 15.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, here we are. I got it. Okay. I saw your message, Molly, thank you. All right, so if you're back and your video is off, just give me a little yes that you're back, and if not, turn on your video. So it's kind of bittersweet. Remember I told you I'm in my new space right now? For years, I've been teaching out of my living room, like this little area that I pulled down a little blind. I just met my husband at home and he said, "Oh, I miss you." Because he's been complaining about my voice rapping on for hours on end. And now he's walking by and I'm like, "Sorry, dear, I'm in the garden, but I'm at work." It's kind of bittersweet that here I am. And the exciting part that I'm not ramming and talking to everyone in the middle of the living room is now an empty house. Okay. So cool. Oh, that's it. Is that your dog? Oh, cutie pie. It's huge. Anyway, Tracy has a dog on his lap. Okay. Anything that came up during break, some people keep working at it as far as the dock and how to activate or deactivate apps on it. Okay, so anything we take off is just, all we're doing is getting rid of the quick little shortcut access to it, but it's not getting rid of the app if you drag it out of the dock. And so if by mistake it was on the dock and you can't find it anymore, then you can just go into the applications, find the name and drag it back on. Yes, Afra.
Yes, sometimes I want to get into your program. Instead of using your link, I want to use Zoom ID and password.
Mhm.
And I can get through that, and they said that the Zoom ID is wrong, incorrect.
So it might be part of, I don't know if it's related to that people were saying today that they couldn't get in today. So let me refresh. I'm gonna reset the Zoom IDs and passwords and send them out again. And let's see if this
Actually,
time.
it says just Zoom ID, nothing about password.
The Zoom ID for this class should be 910-7575-9552. I don't know if that's what was in the email.
910-7575-952. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. So unless there was a typo when you typed it in, that's the correct
Yes.
Zoom, that's the correct ID. So yeah, I don't know
Okay.
why.
Finally, I asked you a difficult question.
Yeah, that was actually an easy question to answer. I know the Zoom ID, the ID for this app. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It does happen every now and then that I might since I'm sending out, what I do is at the beginning of the week on Sunday, I'll set up all my emails where all the classes that I teach, I set up my reminders scheduled to go off on Monday, on Wednesday, on Tuesday, on Friday. And so I set them all at the same time. And every now and then, like 3 times in the past 5 years of teaching on Zoom, I'll put in the Photoshop link for the Mac people and the Mac link for the Photoshop people. And next thing I know, I'm in the class going, why is no one showing up? And then I'll figure out that they're all waiting in some other link or something. But for the most part, I keep it straight, but I'll go check in case something's wrong. All right. Okay, so let me clear all of your answers. And this conversation about aliases will come back when we talk about file management. So Mac level 1 is all about file management. And we're going to begin to figure out where's our stuff, what to do with it, where we really want it, where it shouldn't be, how to find it, and how to make it be easily accessible. So we're going to revisit the alias conversation. So it's not done yet. But I wanted to let you know that that's part of what's coming up. Now, what I want us to do, before I continue, yes, Vicky?
Just a quick question, and it may be off topic, but so during break, I was going through all those amazing apps, and Freeform is one I'd really love to learn. How would I do that?
Well, actually, that's a pretty good question. Have you guys ever checked out in the, I'm having a blank, my SBCC, I used to say in pipeline, now it's in the my SBCC. There's an access in student resources to LinkedInLearning.com. LinkedInLearning.com is a bunch of videos, tutorials. And in LinkedInLearning.com, you could type in the Freeform Apple app, and there's going to be a tutorial there. Of course, YouTube has tutorials too, but I'm just saying resources that the school can give you is the, let me just show you. Let me share my screen. Where I'm going right now, guys. Oh, and by the way, I found an even easier way to get to the handouts. Remember that I was concerned about how hard they were making it to get to the handouts. The last video that I created that I sent to you guys still is the long way around. I talked to the tech support and they showed me a different way. So I'm gonna just show you getting to the handouts from scratch, which you will then maybe want to remember. Try following me with it if you want and see, because it's a bit easier. So we'll first start with my.sbcc.edu, and we hit return or enter. Then you put in your username and password. If you are like me, that you need a passcode, then you need to type a passcode in. Then we log in. And for that passcode, I had to go to my phone. And then over here, I see employee resources, but you guys here should see student resources, right? I don't have that, but you should have that. Since I don't have that there, I'm going to head over here to the left side and notice that this left red side, if I were to make the window smaller, is not there, right? So you would definitely have to go here under student resources or faculty resources. It's just that I don't have that same link. I'm going to see if this one takes me to that. There we go. So you guys have it under student. And here we go. This is the place where you can find a lot of different things, including a quicker access to the Google Drive and LinkedIn Learning. There it is. Okay.
Perfect.
So if you go to LinkedIn Learning, here's where you can also download for free Microsoft Office for those of you who want Word, Excel, PowerPoint for free. But anyway, this is where you would go to Google Drive. Click on Google Drive, and here we are, shared drive. So it's like 3 clicks now, but that's new to me, that you could do it that way. So once again, I'm going to do this one more time. Once you get to the My SBCC, if your window is small, then you have to go under Student Resources. If your window is bigger and you have this red bar, then you can click on Resources right there. And then there's Google Drive right there. So a couple different ways. The problem with this Google Drive is it doesn't get you to the shared drives, okay? So I would prefer that you go to the student resources right there, student resources menu, and then student resources right there. So it's student resources, and here we go again. Now you have Google Drive that looks like a Google Drive. I don't know when the other one, it looks different. And this one takes you to the full Google Drive, where you go to shared drives, and here's the class handouts. So I showed it to you rather quickly in 3 different ways, but if you do it only one way, let me take you one more time, just if we do it one way. So as of now, for those of you who later want to watch the recording at 3:27 p.m., and then you can look at the timing, I'm going to start again, my.sbcc, sbcc.edu. Hit your return key, and then if you want to avoid the short way, one way around is student resources menu. But if you see student resources right here, just go there. I'm going to go to faculty resources, and somewhere at the bottom it should say student resources again for you guys. For us, it says resources, And here we are. And this is the Google Drive right there. But then you go to shared drive. So that was 3 clicks. My SBCC, student resources, and here we are. And then you open whatever class you're in this case, Mac level 1. Okay.
And that's
here are
for the
recordings.
recordings?
Yeah. And then here you get to Zoom class recording links. And that's the one that I put up together with all that. There's other handouts here that I am demoing with now and then. I prefer seeing this in this mode called icon mode because I tend to then recognize the handouts better, right? But I've been showing you a couple of these when I'm teaching, and I'll keep over classes term sharing you, but you might want to check them out. And actually how to access LinkedIn has changed. So I'm actually going to that recording to trash. There we go. Because I just showed you how to do it and it's changed a little bit different. But how to find your Apple ID, how to, iCloud Mail, iCloud storage, lots of cloud stuff, keychain. There's just a lot of information here that you might want to find over here in the Mac versions upgrade. This is what we checked out at the very beginning for the different upgrades and what levels your computers are at and whether your computer can upgrade. Someone asked me over this last week about upgrading. So it depends on if your computer can make it or not. So if you open this handout and it shows you macOS Sequoia 2024, you notice that Monterey is down here. It was from 2021. But if your computer is any older than 2014, 2015, sometimes 2012, it can only go to Monterey. So if you scroll all the way down, you can start clicking over here on these links. And then you can find out if your computer can handle Monterey or Ventura or Sonoma or so on and so forth. And this takes you to the which computer is compatible. Okay, so people who keep asking me that, just come to these handouts and I've got the links in there. How do you get to the handouts? I just showed you the whole process of how to get to the handouts. Okay. All right. Now let me stop this share. Put that away. And let's continue with operating our Mac. So remember that so right now we have 1 more hour of class. And what I want you to consider is that at least the last 15 minutes, I want to focus on questions that you might have. But I did say that one of the questions was going to be the one asked earlier on by, where are you, Denise? Okay, that had to do with the accounts. But if there's anything that comes up as I'm doing this, you go, oh, I wish you'd talk about this, I wish you'd talk about that. Write it down and then ask me. And then as I plan my classes, I can work things in that maybe one time I explain and another time I go for something else. But do ask me for things that you in particular need to know. I know that a lot of times you don't know what to ask for because you don't know what you don't know what you don't know. So you can't ask me things you don't know. But sometimes there are things that you do know you want to know. Go ahead and write them down and ask me that so that I can put them into the schedule of things to teach. All right. So hopefully, how many of you have cleaned out your doc a little bit with this that we've just learned? Like you go, oh, I don't need this, I don't need that. Like, okay, I see Barbara. I see, Judith, did you raise your hand too? Give me a yes if you just even got rid of 1 or 2 things, not even 2, 1. If it's something that you go, I don't need this, that'll lighten up your doc and then it helps it not, find things. Now, more importantly, who found something in the applications that they actually normally want to use and brought it in and put it in your doc that you didn't know how to access, that was easier. That would probably happen to people who have, I'm going to share my screen again. If you have apps that you've downloaded, so say I have all of the Adobe apps over here that I've downloaded. If you have I'm Blackmagic, I think, video editing, have other stuff in here. Maybe you've downloaded Firefox. Maybe you've downloaded Google Chrome. For those of you who like to use Google Chrome as your browser instead of Safari, which I have many reasons why I don't like it and don't use it. But if you do use it, it doesn't automatically populate into your dock. So you might need to grab it and put it in your dock, because otherwise maybe you've been using it from the desktop, or who knows from where. But so go ahead and read all of these things and wonder if there's one that you've wondered all the time where it was and that you want in your dock. For example, did you know the only computer game that has ever come with a Mac, that has come with a Mac forever, is chess? Did you know that we had a game? Because the PCs always came with games, the Mac never did. But if you're a chess player, then you can go ahead and put the chess dock on your app, and then every now and then you can play chess. Anyway, I'm going to remove it, but do check it out and find out what kind of things you have in here that you didn't even know you had. So I put all of the Adobe apps that I teach on a daily basis over here. And then when I have one that I don't use on a daily basis, but that I need, I go up here and I use it straight from here, but I don't need to have it in my dock all the time. So I just pick it up when I need it. Okay, so that's the idea of the applications. Now, I'm going to close this up. Say that I don't have something that I need in my dock. I have no idea how to find it. I don't remember about going to the Finder and going to the applications. Say that I don't remember that, or for whatever reason, I just need to find something quickly. There's at the very top right, and let me see if I can put a little bit of a color on my, every now and then I have a spotlight there. My mouse now has a little red tip, so it's a little bit easier to see it. If I go very top right of my task menu bar, at the very, very top of Apple, there's a menu bar. And on the farthest right somewhere, you will see a little search bar. So I'm going to click on that search bar. And when you do that, what pops up in the middle of your screen is the Spotlight search. The Spotlight search is a humongous search tool that searches more than just your entire computer. So if I were to have been looking for, say, Photoshop, I write Photoshop and I stopped at photos. See, I didn't write the whole word Photoshop. So the computer thinks, oh, are you looking for photos, the Mac Photos app? So it comes at the top because that's what I wrote. Or are you looking for Adobe Photoshop? Or are you looking for the photo booth? So anything that's possibly starts with photo, the word photo shows up. All I wrote photo. The S was given to me. So these are what they call the top hits, the top choices. But then it keeps going and it goes, or did you mean that you want to search the internet for the word photo? Could it be that you want to find some photos that we've used in the app? So it gives you more ideas. In this case, what I wanted was just to show you the suggestions. Next time when I don't choose any of those, if I leave, then next time I click on it, it still has those choices. Okay, so if I click on and off the search feature, it still has what I had written. I had written the word photo. Now, if I instead start again and write P, I only wrote P, I didn't write preview, but the computer is guessing for me and thinking, oh, you want preview based on maybe things that I have used first, or maybe you want the print center. So it keeps looking. The moment I go PH, it goes, oh, maybe photo. So it keeps searching and searching. Oh, maybe you want the iPhone mirroring feature. So it searches for things that you might want. Maybe you're interested in Philadelphia Eagles. I guess since, PH and people have been searching because of the Super Bowl, it came up, and I'm not looking for Philadelphia, but it's just all I wrote was PH. This is a suggestion it kept writing. Okay, so what if I were to write phony? Then it goes phony. I don't have an app called Phony, so then it goes for a dictionary definition. And so it just shows me three different definitions of phony, right? So it doesn't just look for apps, it looks for anything on your computer. If you have a file named phony, it will find it. If you don't, then it goes, the last option it can give you is dictionary definitions, right? Photosynthesis, and then I start writing photosynth, and it already knows that I might be searching for photosynthesis, and it gives me images of photosynthesis. So it's like a big old search. But at the very top, if it's an app, it will find an app. So I have an app called Word and I write the word Word, even though Word could mean millions of things, the first thing it assumes I'm looking for is for my app, Microsoft Word. Does that make sense? Then I just click on that and it opens up. All right. That's in case you ever look for something and you forgot that going to the Finder window and applications, I could have gone here and found my apps, but it wouldn't be under W for Word. It'll be under Microsoft or Microsoft Word. Okay, so if you're looking for Word down in the W's, well, Microsoft Word is really the full name and Photoshop is really Adobe Photoshop, right? So that's in the order in which it comes. So these are apps that I've installed. I've installed all the Adobes, I've installed all the Microsofts, I've installed all the Google stuff. So this doesn't come with a computer. When you install something, you have to download it from the internet. And once you download it from the internet, then you can install it. So how do you download these things from the internet? How do you find them? Some you have to pay, some you don't. But the app that we're going to go and do that with is the Apple. It's not the Apple, sorry, the App Store. Okay, so I still have that one on my dock. If you have the App Store on your dock, then good for you. But if you don't have the App Store app on your dock, then we're going to go to Spotlight and we're going to write App Store. So now we're all doing this. Okay, so now everyone go and do a search for the App Store application, the App Store app. And once you find it, we're going to look at the top and careful because it's showing me App Store, the app, and then it's showing me App Store in Wikipedia. This would be a definition on the internet of what the App Store is all about. So don't click on any of these. The top one is always going to be the app itself. So now I'm going to click on it. There we go. And the App Store is opening up. And since I haven't opened the App Store app since I've upgraded that I did a night or two ago, I get my good old what's new that I had shared before. I'll have to say continue. If you don't see the continue button, then hit the return key. And now I'm in my App Store. So I'm going to share just that window for a minute, which is easier than sharing my entire screen so you guys can see it. If you have your App Store open, please give me a yes. And we're going to talk a little bit about the App Store open. Whoever tried to open it and it says you need to sign in or, you know, it's not accessible because we need your Apple ID or iCloud account, they're calling it now, or something like that, let me know. Looks like everyone's saying yes, which means most of you have opened it. Okay. So here's the thing. You can buy stuff through the App Store or you can buy them on the internet through their companies. For example, get all the Photoshop stuff through a school consortium. By the way, any of you guys who uses all of the Adobe apps, for anyone who's using them, there's a really cheap student price that anyone who's a student, even if you're not taking the Photoshop class or the film editing class or whatever, you can still get the student price. So, you know, I can send you that information. But at this point, this here on the left is different choices of apps that you can buy. I'm not interested right now in showing you apps. It's up to you. If you want to play games, you click on play and it'll suggest you games you can play if you want to do other stuff. But what I want to take you to is to updates at the very, 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 very bottom. So if you have an app that needs an update that you haven't set to update automatically, when you come here to updates, it'll be telling you all the updates that you might have. So if your original update settings that we showed you at the very beginning, and I'm going to show them to you one more time, are set to automatically update, then when you come here, it might be empty. But if it's not set to automatically update, you might have just discovered 5, 10 apps here that say that they can be updated. I don't know. Just there's all possibilities, right? But every now and then you might want to check over here and see this is a little badge. It had a little 1, and that's because I have one update. And usually an update is different than an upgrade. And what an update is, it's usually this. It includes stability improvements and bug fixes, right? So what does that mean? When they first launched it, it's not like they're making a new version of it. That's an upgrade. They're just the same version that you have has a few bugs, a few glitches here and there, and they fix them, so they want you to update it. So if there's ever an update for something, I'd say that the 99.9% of the times the golden rule is go ahead and update, because updates are about bugs and things that don't work, right? So yeah, definitely do updates. What you want to worry about is when the word is upgrade, because that's usually going to be a new version of the program where things change, and you might have to pay for it sometimes. Most of the times it's not about paying, but it's about things might change in a slightly more drastic way, or your computer might not be able to run it if it's older. Updates usually are fine. So I'm just saying this is another place where you might find updates that you might need to do to your computer. And how you do an update, it's not complicated. You just click and it does it for you. Hold on, I'm going to change my entire screen so you can see all the windows. So it'll say sign in and it'll show you your Apple account. And if you don't have your App Store ready with your Apple account, it's going to ask you for Apple account. Remember, it's been called an Apple ID for the last 20 years or whatever, for the last 10 years since it's existed. And now they switched to calling it Apple account. That's new from Sequoia. Before it was always called Apple ID. And we've talked at length the first few classes about it. Here you would put your Apple ID in case you don't have it set up. That's what they need. And if it's something that you need to purchase, then you needed to have given them a computer, a credit card. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I can't sign in when I'm on Zoom. I'm going to cancel. That's it. And then it'll take care of itself. And if you're already signed in, then all you do is click update and it updates automatically in the background and you just don't even notice it happening. Okay. So that's the one. The rest of this is up to you to go and have fun with or not, if you're interested in doing something, or you search. So maybe you do want to see if you can get, I don't know, suddenly I'm chess. I don't know. You like to play chess. You write the word chess in their little search, and there's all these different chesses that you can get. Now be careful, because if you say it says get, and underneath that it says in-app purchases. So it's possible that you can get it for free and not pay anything else. So basic AI chess, get, that means you won't have to pay anymore. You just click get and it downloads into your computer, boom. But if it says in-app purchases, they might want you to buy a package to get beyond the first trial, or anyway, just not just because it says get is free. And other times, already you can't even get it unless you pay. So over here, this one costs $3.99. This one's $2.99. If you click on this one, it'll ask you for your credit card. You get it in, and then you own it, and that's it. That's how you can play chess. Okay, and it will install itself. You will do nothing. When you notice, it'll be here under your applications. You will have the game chess will suddenly appear over here, but their version of chess, the basic AI chess, will be here, or Chess King will be there, or whatever. And if you play it a lot, you want to drag it from here and put it in your dock. Okay. If you have any questions, raise yes.
Yeah, I do.
Molly?
Yeah.
Molly, your hand is up.
My updates, it says no updates. All your apps are up to date. So that means that I have Monterey and I can't upgrade it to the next level.
That's different. That's your operating system, isn't just one of the apps. That's your operating system. There are some apps that cannot function anymore, they can't upgrade anymore, but no, you might be able to still keep getting every upgrade of the basic chess, king chess or whatever, and it could still work on Monterey and it could still be upgrading. What you can't upgrade anymore is Monterey, which is different than these apps. You can have an app that works. I have one app that I've had on my phone since my first iPhone, I don't know how many years ago, and it still kind of works, or it still kind of worked. And this last month, it told me, sorry, it just doesn't work anymore. It's too old, right? But for the most part, apps that can still work, keep working. But your question leads me to remind you, where and why would you have updates, and where do you find out if you have updates? So
I have a 2019 version 12.7.5.
yeah, so let me show you. So I'm going to close the App Store right now. everyone quit or close or do whatever you want with it, but I don't need it anymore. I just wanted to show you. You guys can hang out and find out more and see if there's things you wanna get. But and there's really useful ones, like most of the times the useful apps, there's a Shake app, for example, that I used, and it warned me. We know we had a few months ago, we had an earthquake, and like, 5 split seconds before the earthquake, the app started ringing, alarming, and then next thing you know, the earthquake hit, right? So there's things like that, but there's fire alarms and other kind of stuff. So it's not just games, but there's all kinds of apps in that app store, anything you can imagine or look for, meditation, anyway. But what I'm going to show you next, though, is how to know whether your computer is updating its apps automatically or not. And to do that, we're going to head over to the system settings, okay? In the case of the Mac, the Sequoia, not Sequoia, anything newer than Ventura. Sorry, I'm distracted because I'm opening the preferences on my Monterey. And here we go. I'm going to open up my entire screen for a minute. When I open my system settings, then if I go over here to general, about software update, right there, software update, when I click on that, automatic updates and security responses, checking for updates. So it's checking my operating system. Okay. So it tells me that my Mac OS Sequoia is the newest one and that it last checked today at this time. But if I click over here on the Apple, the very top where it said about this Mac system settings App Store, that's another place where you can access the App Store, right? Because that's where if I click on it, and I will, it opens up the same App Store that I had shown you to open from down there. And then you would go over here for updates of your other apps. But if you want to see whether there's any updates necessary, if your computer needed them, over here you would see that I don't have it because I'm updated, but right here between system settings and App Store, right here, it would say updates available or something like that. Does someone have an update available? What does it say there exactly? It says something. You have an update, or it says something like that.
No updates.
No update. Does anyone have here that choice?
No updates.
It just says no updates.
Your apps are up to date.
Okay. So so this is what matters. So if you're under general and you went into software update, where it says automatic updates, let's go to this little I for information and click on that.
Mine said update available because I have an HP Smart Laser printer. So I
Okay.
clicked.
There you go. So your laser, exactly. So you have an attached laser printer that has an update on its driver. Computer knows that and it's warning you, and you click on it to update it. It'll happen in the background. Every now and then it'll tell you that the computer needs to restart for this update to take effect, in which case you can wait until you go to sleep and restart it then, or you can restart it in that moment, and then it'll take effect, but it might not work until a restart. Other apps just install and keep working automatically. Give me a second, Judith. Let me just show you again where I am, because everyone has to come here. So I'm in the system preferences, general, and then in the software update. And now where it says automatic updates, you need to click on this little I there, which is always information. And here's where we need to make some choices. And these are the choices you need to make. Do you want these to be on or not? If you have download new updates when available, install macOS updates, install application updates from the App Store, and install security and responsive sites. If they're all on, right? If everything is blue, that means that whenever something's available, it tells you, it downloads, and it's ready to go for you to give it the okay. And it does it automatically if you have this one open. So I recommend to always have the install Mac OS updates turned off. See how I that one turned off? Because that's the one that's the big old Mac OS where it gives you it changes you from Ventura to Sequoia, from Sequoia to Sonoma, Sonoma to Ventura to Sonoma, Sonoma to Sequoia, et cetera, et cetera. That one should be off. You should make a choice if you're ready to do that. Those are big changes on your computer as far as functionality of your computer. Not so much, it doesn't look so visually different for you, but the computer needs to be able to be strong enough to do that. I know Denise, your hand is up. Give me a second. If you can put the other hand up. Judith is first, so just put your little virtual hand up. That would be good. Let me finish explaining these first. If you know that at some point you're going to download something, you're going to update, then, and this was on, then the moment that the new update became available, it already downloaded onto your computer. So some people have not installed Sequoia, but the download is already in their computer waiting to be installed. And that's because this one's turned on. If you don't want this one turned on, you don't want to download it until you're ready, then you need to turn this one off. I don't mind having that one on, but for the most part, I'm happy to have it off because I won't need to download it until I install it. So this one, I don't care which one you have, if you have it on or off, as long as some point you're going to update. But this one, I should always have it off. Now, install application updates from the App Store. So everything else I have in here that came through the App Store, by having this turned on, then my computer is always keeping up to date automatically. Like I'm doing nothing, and that's why I don't have a lot of stuff here. If this were turned off right there, and I have to give it the password to tell it that I'm not going to turn it off right now. But this is a big change. So the computer wants your password to know that you're you and not like your grandchild who's hunking away at the keyboard keys. Then I would have here constant little apps that need to be updated, constant little apps that need to be updated. And I would have to remember to come and update them. And for many years, I did that until finally I'm more like, nah, these are okay if they update on their own. So I have it on automatically, and then there's not much to update there. It just does it. And next time I know, I go open an app that I haven't opened before, and it'll say, welcome back, start all over again. And that's because it has automatically updated. See these messages that I get? This one's already been opened. The one that I want everyone to have on for sure is this one. It's security responses and system files. This is the one that you want to always have turned on. If this one's off, you might forget to upgrade, and then a virus comes out and they send out a fix and you haven't paid attention, and next thing you know, your computer might get that virus. So I highly recommend this one to always be on. Before it was off. All these were off. Now by default, if you don't change them, they're actually always on. So people don't tend to have that happen anymore. But if these settings are grandfathered in from your last choices that you had. So for people who had them off in the past, you'll find them off right now. If you've had one on, one off, they should still be one on, one off, even through your upgrades. But before, by default, they came off, turned off. Now by default, they come turned on. So you want to make sure, in my personal computer, I have this one turned off and I have this one turned off. But I've decided to leave these two on because, yeah, the security one I always want, and I don't want to bother updating all the time my apps. But I turn these two off. So it's a choice. But you for sure don't want this one on. That's the one when I said at the beginning of the class, I met many of you last December, everyone was still in Sonoma. When this class began, a lot of you said that you're in Sequoia. Well, that happened because you had it set up for automatic updates, and at some point your Sequoia updated. And I recommend not updating to a new operating system until at least 3 months or so have gone by and all the reports say that it's safe and that it's good and working. And that's the choice that you would have to have turned off for that to not be automatically done to your computer. All right, Judith. I can't hear you. Your sound is off.
I have the same screen on that you do, and I'm trying to, they're all 4 buttons are blue. And I'm trying to make that second one go away, and it doesn't do anything. So,
but it's probably asking you for your look around.
Oh yeah, it says
but somewhere in the background, someone's asking you for your password. And
Yeah.
until you put in your password, it won't respond.
Okay.
And the password it needs is the same one that you use when you open your computer. That's the computer's password.
Okay, I know that one. Unlock.
Yeah.
All right, there. All right, it turned off. Thank you. That's magic. Now, the second one that I
Yeah.
had my hand up in the first place, I have updated to Sequoia, but when I went into that app
Yeah.
store, it
Mhm.
says get Mac OS Sequoia Utilities get. I already got it.
Then don't get it. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe maybe there's an update available of your Sequoia that you could get, but otherwise, if you have it, you have it. You don't need to get it.
I
The
got it
apps,
15.3 or something.
yeah, so right now, 15.3.1 is the latest one. Maybe you have 15.3,
No, that's what I have.
15.3 or 15.2.8 or something like that, in which case that means there's a little update. The place where you don't want to go is 16. Like that won't happen until November. The new one will come out. I don't know what it'll be called. But the people who are in Sonoma are at 14 point something. The people who are in Ventura at 13 point something, and so on. So the first number means the whole big upgrade. And then all the little changes, we're at 15.3.1. Sequoia just started a few months ago. By the time the year is over and they get the new one up, maybe we'll be in 15.9.8, who knows, right? It's these little updates I just send out for fixes that you want to keep doing to keep it running smoothly.
So ignore this app that says get.
Yeah. If you have Sequoia, you don't need to get it. Yeah.
15.3.1.
Yeah, you're fine. Vicky?
Well, I'm looking at that box and it's so confusing because the second one says to download new updates and then of course the one below it is to install those updates. Why
Yeah,
do
so
you even want to a download if you're not going to
let
install?
me explain the difference. The download is the whole app comes into your computer. These apps are big. The operating system apps are big. They might occupy many, megabytes or gigabytes, I don't know, in your computer, and they sit there waiting for you to give it permission to install. Now, what happens is that they're big, and say that one day you go, oh, I want to upgrade to Sequoia, and you want to do it all at once. If you didn't download it, then you might need to have 20 minutes of download time before you have another 20 minutes of install time. If it's already been downloaded, it's ready to go, then it may be downloaded while you were sleeping and you didn't even notice, and it's ready to go to install. So it's two steps. One is the download. The app comes into your computer as a little neatly wrapped package, and the install, it unwraps the package and boom, it comes installs into your computer. Okay, it's like getting something in Amazon, but the box is still there in your house.
Yeah.
That's the download. The install is when you put it into operation. So it's okay to download it. You want to wait to install until you're ready to install, or just don't download it until you're ready to install.
Okay.
Because it does occupy a lot of space, and
Yeah.
why have it sitting there, right?
So I should turn it off.
I have it off. I
Yeah.
can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's
Thank
all.
you.
So I just turned mine off in this one, for example. When I was sharing, it wasn't letting me do it, but I just turned it off. So that's the setting that I just chose right now. And that's how I have it in my computer too. Before I had this one off too. Now I let this one run because I don't want to have to be updating all the little stuff all the time. And I have these two off. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, the bottom two on and the top two off. That's how I choose. But again, I tell you my opinions and then you guys fly your own way, right? It's not like what I say is the right way to go. Denise, your hand was up a while ago. But then you didn't, what was your question?
Since after the break, when you share the video, I don't see it and I don't see the little heart in the bottom. That's why I had my hand up. I don't have the heart in the bottom to to say yes or no or whatever. So I haven't seen any of the videos, so of the share screen.
If I share my
had,
screen, let me share one more time. If I do
I
like
lost
that, you
everything.
don't see anything?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's so many different things could be happening on Zoom. Just for now, keep listening, keep your eyes on oh, are you alone today in class?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for your husband. I'm like, where's okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say look at his computer, but
Yeah.
he's not here. So so yeah. you know, at this point, it'll take longer to try to figure out what's happening
Yeah,
to your
yeah,
Zoom.
okay. It's not a quick fix, obviously. No, okay.
Not if I share and unshare and it still doesn't pop in and your entire Zoom text is missing, it'll just,
So, yeah.
when you're done, if you want, leave Zoom and come back in, that might fix it, or if not, wait until after class.
Okay, I can try
And you
to.
don't miss anything.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So that was the software update, app update area where you want to be careful and listen to those, to that information that shows up there and is warning you about there being stuff available for you. Now I'm going to, share my entire screen again. So now I've closed all the other apps. I'm back to sharing my entire screen. And, at this point, I want to show you some more things about this interesting doc. So, all the way from the Finder, all the way to the right until over here. It's kind of subtle, but there's a line right here that if I put my mouse on it, in fact, it turns into an arrow. And I have a few more apps, and then there's another line. Then there's a few more things, and then there's the trash. So if you guys search, you'll see one line at least, sometimes two. It's possible that sometimes some of you might have one. Do you see those lines that I'm talking about? Okay. Let me let Denise in again. She had dropped out. Let's hope that worked. Let me stop my share so she doesn't show up to start it. Did that work, Denise? Is it working now? You can see your tools? I can't hear you, so.
Are you
Did that work?
sharing right now?
No, I stopped because since you were
Oh,
coming in.
okay.
Do you see your tools though?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start sharing right now again. Okay. So I was pointing out that in the doc, there's a line, there's the trash is the far left and the Finder is the far, Finder is far left and trash is far right. Those are always there. They don't move. But then you have one or two things, maybe nothing before you have a line. Then you have three things usually, and then you have another line, and then you have a ton of stuff. So let me explain, because those are divisions of types of material. First of all, next to the trash, before the first line, what you have is files. And this we're going to talk in depth in Mac level 1, all about file organization. So if you have anything before the first line, some of you just have the trash and then comes a line. Some of you have a folder, some of you have a few things. This, the only thing that it has to do with apps is that if I open an app and minimize it, remember the yellow button, it goes and sets itself in that area. Okay, so it's like temporarily open apps or files. That's the only thing you will find there. Then we have a line. Okay, then you have probably 3 little icons and then a line again. So let me tell you what these are. All these apps, everything that here is installed in your dock automatically by Apple when you buy the computer, or by yourself today when I taught you how to put your own apps in there. And they are shortcuts to open something. That's it. Boom. Click on that, the app opens. That's what that is. On the line in between these apps and these are apps that are not permanently in your dock. These are only temporarily in your dock. So watch. Here's the W for Wacom Center. This is the weather, and this is the preview app. These are 3 apps that don't live on my dock. You would not find the weather, the icon, or the preview on my dock. But what happens is I open them. So say that I now open, I'm going to go to my applications and I'm going to open up something else that I don't have in my dock. So for example, I'm going to open up chess again. I think that I'm going to open up chess. Look what happened. Don't look at the dock. Don't look at the game that opened up. Look at my dock. Suddenly I have 3 different ones. Suddenly I have chess, I have preview, I have weather, but remember there was a big W here? It's gone. Because what this is doing, it's putting the last 3 apps that I've used that are not permanently on my dock they're putting them here while it's open. So now I'm going to close chess because I'm not going to use it. So I'm just going to quit chess. Oh, I don't want to use that account. Okay, I'll quit this account. Never mind. I'll quit chess. But it's still there. If I quit chess, it doesn't leave that area. I have weather, preview, and chess. But it's not a permanent thing in my dock. So now I'm going to open another thing. I'm going to open something else that's not normally in my dock. I'm going to open, there's certain ones that I want to open, that one. That's why I'm kind of trying to be very picky here. I'm going to open the shortcuts app. Double click on shortcuts app. Again, I'm not teaching you the app, so don't look at that. Look down here. Now I have shortcuts to the right, chess pass to the middle, previews to the left, and weather disappeared. You see that? It's like they're taking turns. They're scrolling through. Preview is the last of the original ones that was here. I'm going to quit preview and I'm going to open one more time. I'm going to open tips, double click on tips. There we go. Now I have tips, shortcuts, and chess. And the other three that were there when I started, which were weather, Wacom, and preview, are gone because these are not in my permanent dock. So they cycled through, but the computer thinks, well, if you used it now, you're probably going to use it again in a little bit. So I'm going to open podcasts right now. And there it goes. And it settles itself into there. I'm going to close. I keep closing the apps because I don't necessarily need to teach you the apps. I'm going to show you how these cycle through. You can choose to have more. You can choose to have up to 5 in here now, I think. In these rotating ones. But what if I say, you know what? I want to listen to podcasts all the time. I want to make it permanent. Same with tips. I want my tips to be permanent. Then they need to go to the other side of the tracks, basically. They need to go past this line to that side. So say that I want to have podcasts all the time. I can do two things. I can just physically drag it. I just dragged it to this side. Boom. It is now permanent. I've left only 2. That's it. Or I can do right click, options, keep in dock. Keep in dock. It moved itself to that side. So now this is considered a permanent app. And this only has 1 because I just moved it. But next time I open another one that's not in there, I'm going to open WeBuilder. There it is. It sets itself up there. Once these are off, then this one's probably needs some updates, which is why it's going to take a while. Okay, I'm going to download it. This is my 3D printer design app. So now there it is. By the time I do a third one will set itself up in there. I'm going to open Snagit. There it is. These are all apps that I have, but that I don't have in my permanent dock. So if you have any in there, that's because you've been using apps that are not in your dock. Let me just quit. If you don't have any, it's because you don't use any docks, any apps that are not in your dock. If you say, no, I didn't want it permanently, tips shouldn't be there permanently, then I'm going to just do options and like we did before, remove from dock, and it'll come back to the dock when I open it temporarily until it gets kicked out of the recents little area. If you got it, it makes sense, all is good, give me a yes. If you have any questions about that, give me a no or raise your hands. All good? That's why this will keep cycling through. The idea is that if I use Snagit now, I might use it for 2 or 3 days. And then when I stop using it, it'll slowly fall out of use until finally it's out. And then I will have to go get it back from in here again. Does that make sense? So that's what those things are. And many of you guys are just using what came with the computer and you've never used any of these extra ones. So there's never been anything there. But now that I've been making you open some weird ones, they're beginning to populate that little area. Now, how do you handle how many hang out in that area is through the system settings in the desktop and dock. And over here is where it says, one of these places tells you how many things to have in the dock, I think. Show recent apps and stage man. Oh, that's different. That's a stage manager. Nope, it's not here then. it's, where would it be? Okay. Option, there's a place where you can choose where, if you want 5 in here or something. I've never needed more than that, but I don't know exactly where it'll be. It'll be in one of these places, is how many things you want in the recents app. I think maybe it's in the Finder settings. Let me see, give me a
Under
second.
menu bar, it says recent documents, application and servers 10 for me.
Menu bar, where do you have that?
Desk and desktop and dock, and then under menu bar, it says recent documents, applications and
I'm
servers.
looking for menu bar, but I don't see it. So is it here on desktop and dock? Because
Yes.
we might have a different version and I don't see.
I have
Yeah, you have Ventura. So I'm not seeing it here. This is where it used to be and you're in Ventura. So that's why I thought it would be here, but they moved things around. So it's not here now. So it went somewhere else. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter really too much, but when I find it, I'll tell you where it is now. Okay. It's interesting because there's all this stuff that is there somewhere, but it changed where, but that's what that is. All right. So
Yeah, I have 2 important programs. I have Zoom and Adobe in those 2 spaces.
okay.
And they're major. Should be
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah, if you use Zoom a lot, yeah, when you first open Zoom, it probably shows up there and then it disappears. If you guys want Zoom to stay,
I want to
then
stay.
do a right click and say options, keep in dock, or just drag it over to this side. Boom. When you drag it over to this side, it stays. So I've zoomed, my Zoom is here, but I had to make it stay in the dock because I use it all the time.
I got it.
Yeah, you can choose
did
to have it stay. And then you can keep getting rid of the stuff that you use less, so that you don't have a crowded dock.
Very
All
good.
right.
Thank you.
So now the next thing I want to talk to you about now is, and I'm looking at the time, it's 4:14, which means these are the 15 minutes that I want you to ask questions, but I want to point some stuff out that I want you guys to investigate and to have questions about it by next Monday, and then I'll take questions. I see, Barbara, though, is your question about the doc, the last things we just talked about? Your sound is off?
I just wanted to know what the app was on your screen that looks like a phone.
Which app looks like a phone?
It's right next to your calculator.
Oh, I have my phone.
Mirroring. Okay.
I have my phone set up in this new Sequoia, which you can't do it in yours. I have it set up that I can control my phone right here. I can open this and I can control my phone from my Mac.
Okay.
I can click on stuff and get access to everything that's on my phone because there's things on my phone that are not on my computer and I could do it right here. So if I were to like right now continue, in fact, this is new to Sequoia, right? So since it's new to Sequoia, it's showing me what to do. And so if I say continue, then my phone is off right now. So I would have to make sure that my phone is on. I have to set it up. Let me see. Let's try again. Unlock my phone. There we go.
What are the features though that
There
you
we
have
go.
there for
What's
the
that?
phone? What are the features that you can have from the phone?
I'm trying to set it up since I just opened this phone. I'm trying to do it, but this phone that I use for teaching is relatively old. There it is. Allow, and it's asking me, do you want notifications from your phone to appear in your computer? For example, what if you have a game on your phone? People who play games might have someone saying, oh, someone played, say my kids play chess. So say that when you know how chess is, you play and then you can wait forever for the other people to play. So then they'll get a notification. Your other guy played, right, on their phone, so they can come and do their game. So do I want to see that on my computer? Because I don't have the chess game on my computer. Do I want to see on my computer that on my phone the guy's already played, for example? So that would be what this is. And so if I say allow or don't allow, it'll give me messages that my phone is receiving. I'm going to say allow for now. You can always change those settings. And so now I'll say get started. And basically, I have to enter the same passcode that I use on my computer. There. So now I have to use my phone. There we go. My phone right now is it's connected here. Ask every time. Okay, so there you go. This is my phone. And in fact, it's interesting because I'm always doing this whole share, but now I could even do it this way to share. And yeah, I can use my phone, like literally my phone can be somewhere else and I can go into my phone settings, or if I have a game or something that I'm playing in here, I can, this is an app that I have on my phone that I don't have in my computer, for example, right? So I can do that from my computer. That's what that is. And that you can do in Sequoia. It was not available before. I'm going to close it.
Sounds a little bit like the iWatch.
Yeah, the iWatch you handle from your phone, exactly. And now the phone you can handle from the computer. I want to show you some stuff. I'm going to close this up for a minute. I want to show you some stuff that I want you guys to work on or to question and ask. And we're going to work on it more next week, which is once you close all the other apps, if you close everything else that we have here, the only thing left is the desktop. Now I have a lot of stuff in my desktop, all this stuff. We're going to deal with that in Mac level 1 because I have a lot to say about all these things that are on the desktop, and basically the shorty is that they shouldn't be there. There's better places for them, but I keep collecting them until I get to Mac level 1, and then we'll learn how to handle them. But at the very top of my screen, way at the top, that's called the Apple menu bar. Apple menu bar has many real important things on it. So we haven't talked yet about the Apple menu bar. We've been talking about the dock. We've done some preferences. We're going to talk about the menu bar. And there's some features here on the right that'll be different for me than for you, depending on what apps you have. Like I have the Creative Cloud installed. It's an Adobe feature. That leads me to the Creative Cloud Adobe. If you don't have that installed, you won't have that, right? So it depends on what is in your computer, what will be up here. But there's a series of things here on the far right that we all have, and there's a series of things over here that we all have that are really useful. In particular, the control panel. We're going to learn about the control panel, which is similar to the control panel on the phone. I wanted to ask you guys to explore these things. And that was my 15-minute warning. I want you to explore what these things are and to have questions. Like I pressed this and I didn't know what it was, or I pressed that and I didn't know what it was. So again, it's this top bar. The Apple is on the left and it's the Apple menu bar. These things might change on the left side all the time, depending on what app you have open. The Apple is the only constant. The rest might change, but these remain constant all the time. And it's these in particular that we're going to talk about. Click on them. I've already talked about the spotlight today. If I have a laptop, you'll see the battery, but if you have a desktop, you won't see the battery, right? So there depends on what computer has what is what we'll find. Click on this control panel and explore it. Just see if you can figure things out. This is another place where you can turn on the stage manager. So say that if I did have a few things open, I'm going to open a few things again, and I'm going to open that, I'm going to open that. I'm going to open the calculator. If I have 2 or 3 things open, I can go over here and say I want to activate the stage manager for a little bit. There we go. I activated it, and now I want to turn it off. I turn it off from there, so I don't have to go into the system preferences. I think Justine was asking when she got in, how did you turn it on? That is the quick access to how you turn the stage manager on and off, okay? And there's other good stuff in there. So explore it a little bit, write down any questions you have, and I will spend some time with you on that. But what I didn't get to show you is how to take apps on and off your phone. And given that I also promised to talk a little bit about those accounts, I'm going to leave that for next week. So we're going to talk about how to get the phone. Again, this isn't an iPhone class. We're setting that one up. I'm trying to get it. So I tried to teach you the equivalencies, but sometimes there's just too much, right? But I'm going to show you a little bit how to get the equivalent app icons on and off your phone, but I'll show you next week. So close these things. Any questions about what I just said before I get to explain a little bit more about all those accounts that we worked on the last 2 weeks entering into our computer? Nope. It's all good for now. Okay. I get hoarse. Sometimes I teach 2 4-hour classes in a row, 5 hours sometimes. At the end, I have no voice. I'm trying to treat myself well, having warm tea next to me all the time. It's helping. All right. So Denise, are you there?
Yeah.
There you go. So Denise had a question earlier on today. And guys, if I left you with, I'll answer after class. This is the time to let me know what I said I would be answering. But I think the only one that I promised to answer at the end was that one. But I did say, if you have any other questions, please, pack them in. But I'm not seeing anything written there. Barbara is asking about iCloud email. And it switches and things like that. So, when you try to send a photo, it's sending it from the wrong place. That's what you're saying. So what you need to tell your computer is which one is your default account, the account that you want to use as your default setting for mail. Okay. And I'm thinking it might be easier if you do it, but I see a hand that might be something else before I get launch into that. Yes, Judith?
Yes, I have a question about email. I've been playing around and doing my investigating, and I wound up with a font that's too big on the mail. So just which are the buttons to push to go back in and fix that?
Okay, so we had that. Did someone help me here? Because since they moved it and we were working on it last time, I believe it was in the accessibility that we went to each app to change the text. Because we went and were able to do that for each app last time. Remember, guys? Yeah, there it is in
Yes, I did, and I
accessibility.
tried to
There it
go
is.
back.
Okay, so in the
General.
accessibility, no, not in
Accessibility.
general, in accessibility, you go over to display.
Display.
No,
No?
yeah. Accessibility display. And then as you go down, text size, custom.
Text size. There it is. Okay.
And under custom, then you can choose for each app what size you want. Oh, and for the mail, it says that you can customize it in the app. So you can choose now to go
Mail.
to
I have 12 point, but that's big. So I'll go back
12
to
12 point isn't necessarily big. It depends on your resolution. These are so relative. On a computer, it's hard to explain, but 16 point is what mine is set at. You're saying that 12 is yours and it's big, and it could be that the whole computer resolution right now for you is really big. So a 12 looks big versus if I have a low computer resolution, monitor resolution, then 16 point looks small. So it's not like an inch is an inch is an inch for everyone. These numbers are relative to what your screen resolution is set at. And that's a bit hard to go other than to say that under displays, you get to choose your screen resolution. So guys, this is for everyone. This one I didn't show the other day. So under under accessibility, there's a place called display. That's the one I'm showing you right now, right? And that's where last time, I think this last week or the one before, we went to text size and saw that we could change the size of some of the apps. If you don't remember that, you can do some reviewing, but here we go. But on the left side, there's another thing that says displays. So this is displays inside of accessibility. But then there's the main displays. And this one changes how big your whole computer shows up as all the time. So if you go here and you find that you want things to be smaller because everything shows up too big, then you can click on one of those. If you instead want things to look bigger, you can start clicking to the left. Let me see. I don't know if it's something that Zoom will display well. I'm sharing my entire screen now. So what if I now decide that I want to click on this one? See how my icons suddenly look much smaller? I don't know if you can tell. Versus default, where everything got bigger. Versus if I go to the left and I click over here to the biggest one, wow, look at how big everything got. And some of you guys who couldn't get to the OK and return features, it's because you've got your resolution set so big for things to be so big that you have to scroll to everything all the time. Find the one that's comfortable for your eyes, right? And do that. I have it at the default setting here. But I did make my icons and my text bigger so for teaching, and I did that under accessibility, under this display, where I went to this text size and I chose to make my stuff a little bit bigger here because it's easier for when I share with you guys my screen.
There's a slide bar up there too.
Yeah, I have it at something a bit higher. The default is over there, and I have it a bit bigger. So if you look,
Is that for the email
me,
too?
see here, it's
Mhm.
got smaller, and I make it, and it got bigger, right? So that it's hard to see how much, but that down there is changing. So
Okay,
yeah,
I'll play
so
with it.
that's
Thank you.
different things to play with. So
If you just click the A itself, it will make it get larger. That A is like the button
Big.
you want to push.
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right, so now I want to go into accounts. So I'm going to begin addressing Denise's question that many of you might have. When I went into internet accounts, and this was a lot of what we did 2 classes ago, and then we kept working on it last class. So it's if people are thinking about recordings. I introduced it towards the end of the class 2 classes ago, and then we began with it last class. So this wrapped into 2 classes. And I had you guys install different accounts in here, and I told you to put in your pipeline one. And when you had that one turned on, I said, please turn it on all of them. And then some of you put the rest of your accounts in here. Once you do that, if everything is active, right? If everything is active, like these 2 are active. I have my iCloud one is all active. We're going to spend more time in this one later, but it's all active. Then, for better or for worse, when you're in your email, you get the emails from all those different places. That was the good news, right?
Right.
But let me open my email now. And again, I'm not teaching you the entire email program. Let me just show you what happens is that when you're in your email program, on the left side, by default, if you haven't changed it or done much, there's something called all inboxes, and yours won't look exactly like mine right now, but just that all inboxes. It's showing me, and I think we covered this really quickly, all the different, see, look, here's Julie telling me I can't log in at 1:36. What's inside teaching? I never saw it. So I'm seeing that from Julie that came into my pipeline. And at the same time, I have the inbox, something that arrived into my SBCC teacher email. If I open this little tiny triangle, then I can see only things that got to my iCloud account, only thing that got to pipeline, and only things got to SBCC teacher. So that's all good and dandy. But the problem is that when you go write an email, which one is that email going to come from? Or when you go send a photo, which email is that going to be sent from? Or in the case of Denise, you were in the Photos app, right? And you were trying to send something.
Right.
And that photo went from the wrong email. So let me explain that you can tell the computer which one is your default email account. So in the Mail app, if the Mail app is open, you can go up here to where it says Mail next to the apple. Do you see that? And then go to Settings. It's the Mail settings. Anyone who wants to follow through, please do this. We'll spend more time here in the future, but the reason I'm saying I would like everyone to watch is because mail settings is the one we're going to right now, but every single app that's on the computer, under its name of itself, it has its settings, and you can handle the settings of each app. So we've been working on the system settings a lot. That's the operating system settings, but each app has its own settings. And in the mail settings, you can open this up and you can tell under general, you can tell it, one of these allows you to tell it which is your default email. And I'm thinking in composing, I need to find where it is, but one of these tells you send new messages from, and then you can choose which one to send it from. Okay.
And
Right
you
now,
started out by what?
So send new message. You said you tried to email it, right?
Right.
So you went to the Photos app and you tried to share a photo from there, and it sends it as an email, and it opened up the wrong account. So over here, choose which is, if you want an automatic one to send from. If you always want to send from this one, then choose that one. If you want to send from that one, then choose that one.
Okay.
And then you can still send from the others, but you'll have to change something later. Right now, I'm going to leave it on automatically select best account. When I teach email, I'll teach more about this, but that should solve your problem, your specific problem of.
And how do you get to the composing part? Through
Well, you
mail?
said that you sent through the Photos app. Is that what you said?
Or just from another email if I try and
Oh, well, I'm
send
not going to teach
something.
email right now. I'm
Okay.
just answering Denise's question. She had her Photos app open and she set a photo that she wanted to share with someone. And when you share with someone, you can write an email. And again, this is all the photo, the Living the I Life classes where I'll teach this. But when you send a photo from your mail app and you try to do mail, it opens up and it creates an email, and it's automatically set to be sent from, and it'll be sent from the one that's your default account. Or
Okay.
worst case scenario, Denise, you can go over here and change it to the other one that you want to send from. Okay. So this
Okay.
is this, Denise, if you're talking to me, you're muted. So I have no idea. Right now, I'm only hearing Barbara.
Yeah, so I went to my photo and I wanted to
Okay,
send.
now at this point, you need to share because you need to see your class. So for those of you who need to leave right on the dot of class ending, the class has just ended. It's 4:35. If you want to hang in for more of this information, please hang in there because I'm still answering Denise's question. So Denise, you want to share your screen now? I'll see you all on Monday. Monday's our last class. So come ready for a lot of work and questions. And then next Wednesday, for some strange reason, instead of starting Mac level 1, they skip it and we start the following Monday with Mac level 1.
So there's no class next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, yeah. When we have the holiday thing that skips for some reason, instead of starting the next day, they skip the free day and they move over. So yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, I'll send you guys reminders on it, but don't forget to sign up. Those of you who are not signed up in Mac level 1 will not get invited to join and will not have a chance to keep learning. All right,
It's
Denise,
great, friend.
I'm
Thank you.
waiting for you to share
I-
your screen, Denise. I'm not seeing it. Are you sharing? No, you're not.
You mean my screen from my phone?
No. Oh, it's from, this is
Because
happening
it's
from
from
your
my
phone?
phone, so I open
Oh.
a picture on my phone and I send it to my email, Denise Grimm 2013, my personal email, and that stupid photo goes to an outbox, which is a place where it stays there until I move it somewhere else. So, but
Okay, so that
before I
might have,
played with my email, it was going straight to my personal email address, and all of a sudden it doesn't anymore.
okay, so that's different. Here, I'm telling you all the stuff about the mail on the computer, and I didn't know that you meant that this was happening on your phone. When things go into the outbox, it's possible that the outbox, that your mail on your phone needs to be signed into or not set up. So let me share my phone because you can't share yours. And this is my phone, and as you can see, it's warning me that I have an update and saying, do you want to install now or later? Since I'm teaching right now, I'm going to say later. And then it'll ask me again later. Put in a passcode and it'll update tonight. And so I'm going to do that. But yeah, so when you're in your Photos app, right? And you try to send something, say I want to send this
Mhm.
photo, and I go down here to send it, which is kind of exactly
Right.
what I did on the computer, but from your
Yeah.
phone. If you go to mail to send it from
Right.
mail,
Uh-huh.
right? Then what it'll show you here, from where are you sending, or to where are you sending? So same as before, you can click on this and choose to send it from a different account.
Oh, okay. So
So it's probably trying to send from an app that you still haven't signed in completely, from an email that you
so
haven't
it
signed in.
says from an old email address that I have.
All right, so click on that and drag it to the right one.
I've done this, and if I do it from my Cox
Oh,
account, it won't
and
it
can
won't
I
go through a
say
lot of times.
Click.
from my personal email address to my personal email address
Yeah,
then?
yeah, you can send it from
Oh,
to yourself, yeah. When you take,
now, if I delete that old email address, then it might pick up my personal email address, but it
yeah, no, not necessarily. You need to do the same thing I just showed you on your computer. You need to go tell your email to be the one that's the default so that it doesn't have to make you choose.
So
But
on my computer, can I
go
share
to your
my,
settings, go to
uh-huh.
your settings on your phone. Bye, Julie.
Bye, have a good weekend.
Thank you. Go to your settings on the phone and then drag, go all the way to the very, 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 very bottom and go to your app,
To my setting, go all the way to apps,
all the way to the bottom to where it says apps,
Yeah,
click on apps. And then by alphabetical order, we're going to go to the M for mail. And go to
yeah,
the
it's
M,
quite a way down
mail.
for me.
So you can click on this alphabet here and go zoom in straight to the M and then open mail.
Mail. Somehow I know I always have trouble to find it. I don't know why.
Well,
Yeah.
just see how there's an alphabet here?
Yeah.
Put your mouse, like click on this with your finger to the U and it'll jump straight to the W. Click on the A, it'll jump to the A. Right, so if you have something that is called mail, I'm going to put my finger right kind of there in the M, so it
Yeah,
gives me near. And
Okay,
now
yeah, yeah.
mail. And then here it says, which is your default mail app, right? So you click over here and you tell it, is mail your default mail app? So that's good. And then,
So it says, I have one that says Gmail and one that says mail.
right, so then choose mail.
Mail.
If we're using the computer, the phone, Apple system, choose mail.
Okay.
And then make sure when you go up to mail accounts, up here, make
Where is
sure
the mail account?
right above. Okay, so when you got
I
into
chose
mail,
mail
the first choice at the very top of mail is mail accounts.
Okay. I click on mail, nothing is happening. So wait a minute.
Mail
Can you go
account.
back one step?
Okay, choose mail.
Oh,
Did you find mail here?
Yeah, I did choose mail, but I don't have the same screen than you.
Okay, when you chose mail, what does it say up here?
Okay, I just had two choice, either mail or Gmail.
Okay, so I'm teaching you how to use mail. That's the whole point. That's Gmail is a Google app. It's different. Mail is the Apple app, which is the one that we've been
so
using. And
from
it's the
mail-
one that connects to your Photos app. It's the one that connects to all of the Apple iCloud stuff. Chose mail.
Yeah, I have this, and the first one I have is Apple Intelligence and Siri. Search, yeah, I have the same, okay.
Okay, so now go
mail
to
account,
mail
I have the-
accounts.
Okay, so I click on that.
Click on that. And if you have an old one that you don't use at all, say that you don't want to use one, click on it, and then turn the mail off of that one. If you don't want to use it at all, you said it's one that you don't use, right?
Yeah.
So then turn the little eyeball off of the mail of that Apple,
The
the
mail of
account
that
that you
one.
don't want.
Okay.
Or the other way around, turn it on and then it'll ask you to sign in, and the one that sends stuff to your outbox is because it's not signed into it. So then you would have to go to account settings and put in your password again and sign in again. But if you don't want to use it, just turn it off. And then that's the solution.
So now I clicked off the one that said mail. Oh, was that a good idea? Yeah. So the one I didn't want, now I shut off mail from State Street Ballet account, the one I don't want.
Yeah, so now when you go to your photos and try to share by mail, go see, but it probably is not choosing that anymore because the mail setting. Like if I go here, I just turned off my Yahoo, so the choice for Yahoo isn't here anymore. It was before.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'll play with it. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, let's see. But yeah, so I was hoping that my picture went to my Denise Grimm account, but it didn't. Yeah.
But
You know, I sent the picture from Denise Grimm to Denise Grimm, but it still ended up to that stupid outbox.
So then are you signed into your account? Because the outbox happens when you're not signed in, like you didn't finish the complete, you didn't give it the password and it wasn't ready to go.
Yeah. But before it.
Okay, turn your, yeah, but phones, this could be because you updated your software in your computer, and once you update, it needs you to sign into your accounts again. It's not about having put in other accounts. I know that you keep saying before you did that, but that's not what made it work or not. App accounts, every now and then, they need people just say you need to sign in again because they want to make sure that you're still you, just as a security thing. So does any of them show a little triangle that needs to be signed into? I wish you could share your screen with, can you point it, turn it around and put it near your face, and I'll see if I can approach a little bit.
Because now there is.
Turn your phone and put it near your nose.
Yeah.
Sounds weird, but.
So what do you want to see on my phone?
The place where you're, just what you're showing me, that you're saying there's an outbox. I don't know, show me your outbox.
Yeah. Except the outbox disappeared.
So maybe it's because it's sent. If the outbox disappears, it's because it got sent. Go to your inbox and see if it
Oh no,
arrived.
there is this outbox, and yeah, and that picture I just sent is in the outbox again.
Okay, so turn your phone around so I can see it.
This outbox is right in the middle.
Okay, a little bit higher. Okay, so click on the outbox now and then turn it around again. There's 3 things in your outbox, and all 3 things sent on Sunday. So you didn't put anything today. You didn't want to do one today. These are from Sunday.
Oh.
Go into your inbox to
It's
see
the
if
same picture, that's why.
yeah, so
Okay,
those, so stop for a minute, stop for a minute. Those 3 are probably that one in the account that's no good, and that's what you need to slide right and delete them. Go to your inbox now and see if the one that you sent today is there. These are
Yeah, the one that I sent today is not in my inbox.
Well, you don't know that until you check.
Yeah, because I checked, and this is the last one, and there is no picture. There is a Linda.
Oh, because now you have the whole primary thing going on. You're not sure if it did get there or not. Go check the other options up there at the top of primary and secondary and third, and maybe it went into one of those.
In iCloud, maybe?
No, 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 no. Turn the phone around for a minute. Which email did you send it to? The Denise personal?
Denise personal.
Okay, click on Denise personal. Okay, and in the new phone, this categories thing that's going to be so hard for me to teach once I have to teach it. At the top, it says the word primary. Do you see that on the left? Okay. Now, there's next to the primary, there's like a little shopping cart, and there's 4 other things. So turn it around so you can see what I'm talking about again. Click
Yeah.
on the next one, the next one, the next one, because maybe it ended up in a different location.
Yeah, no.
You went to all 4 and it's not there?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we need to see if you sent it. Go to your, turn it around to make sure that you're doing what I'm saying you had to do.
Yeah, I'm back to the other one, to the
Okay,
beginning.
so now back out of inbox and let's see if you sent it. Back out of the inbox. Okay, and now scroll. Okay, now scroll down and go to the sent of your personal. Go to your personal account and go to the sent feature. And let's see if you did send it. That's yesterday. You didn't send anything today yet. So let's go back to the photo and let's see if you're sending it correctly. Go back to the photo. And show me, let's do the send again.
Okay, so I'm gonna send this one.
And you're sending it from the personal one. And that's the right
So-
email?
So it's my personal this time.
Okay.
The
From, and then go to 2 and send it to the same one.
to the same one. Yeah. Okay. And now I send it.
Can you go down to where it says from and click on that and show me all the options that show up? Click on the from and let me just.
So I get out.
No, where you are, where it says from, click on the word on Denise at Gmail, click on that one. And it should show you the other accounts.
On this one? No.
Go up higher, I can't see it, you're not showing me. No, like I can't see it, you need to move your phone up a bit. So click on the word Denise Grimm 2013, just click on the word Denise Grimm 2013. From, it should have other things appear. Click on the from and hold it for a minute. You should have all your accounts show up.
Oh, there's just one.
So that's the only account you can send from?
Yeah.
I thought you said you had many email accounts.
Yeah, but that other one, I took the bubble out.
Okay, so go ahead and send it again, and let's see if it ends up, like you said, in the. And you're sure you're sending it to the right
Yeah.
email address?
Yeah. So now if I go to my email.
It's not so quick. It takes a little bit of time, but yes.
Yeah.
It's not instant.
And I show look to the.
Especially if you have a delay.
Oh.
There it is.
It's here.
Yay. It worked. Cool. Life is good. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing the, the directly to my iPhone.
The dead account. And so now it's
Yeah,
up
I
there.
was doing with the airdrop, which is another solution, but it
Yeah.
just made me mad because before it was working and all of a sudden I guess I mingled, and then that's other email that I don't use.
And why did you need a photo to go from your phone to your email? Just to know, like, because that's.
Because I wanted to put that picture those pictures in a file.
Okay.
They should be already.
Because you should be able to do that straight from the Photos app to
They
put it
should
in a
be
file. You don't
thinking,
really need to, yeah. So once we get to that whole process, we'll find out what's happening, because that, you shouldn't need to email yourself a photo that's already on your
right,
phone.
and yeah,
There's something going, some wires are crossed there. You should be able
it's
to do it
wired
directly.
here too.
No, but you're getting it. It's there.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
Okay,
see you then
sorry.
on
Thank you so
Monday.
much.
No, not
Yeah.
at all.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye,
you.
Barbara. Bye, Denise.